freedom. Always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention. You never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim. Myself, I'm still tangled, I'm not worried, 'cause I am caught up in this perfection. Pay attention, yeah, you never will. 'Cause you depend, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? just want to change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't want to hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant.
What is up, people? Let's go!
I just want to change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn.
Dude, how we doing?
I don't ever want to come down. I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together.
Let's go!
Everyone's waiting, anticipating.
Dude, let's go! Come on, baby!
Get it? I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, let's go!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come on!
I can't pretend.
Oh, shit!
No, 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 no. I hope this never ends. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Let's go.
Oh! Team Carpenter, 100%. Dude, let's go. All right. Dude, how are we? I gotta give you the straight dope before we go into it, because we're gonna kind of speed run tonight for a number of reasons. One, I'm fucking exhausted. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. My sleep schedule has gone to shit, so my voice is kind of shot too. But the other thing that's crazy is I like cracked a tooth, dude, which is bizarre. I don't know. It's like halfway back, just the inside of a tooth just totally cracked off. Now, so I'm gonna have to be like heading to the dentist at some point. And it's wild though. It doesn't hurt yet. So, which is good, but I can feel that it's like going to hurt soon. Ah, can hear it. Oh, you can hear how tired I am? Yeah, I bet you can. Dude, I'm so tired. My voice is just thrashed, right? Oh, first on Epstein's phone was New York office. Second number was completely redacted. Yeah, no, I know. I saw the picture of the phone. There were a couple things that were redacted on there. Right? Right? Can easily identify an individual. Dude, dude, those, first off, those fucking videos are like haunting. I didn't watch them all. I did download them though, so we'll be able to pile through them. Ah, root is exposed, but yeah, no, the root. Oh, yours cracked. The root is exposed, dude. That's crazy. Second number is likely the White House or Mar-a-Lago. I mean, we'll see. I mean, dude, it's really fucking interesting because, again, I think everybody, right? I think everybody that is in the like oversight committee and like everybody in government is going to be seeing the unredacted version of this stuff. So that is like, I guess, is somewhat comforting, right? I mean, dude, I want to see it all. Dude, I don't feel like anybody should be redacted if there's not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody should be redacted if they're not a victim, you know what I mean? And Trump is redacted. You know that his shit is hidden, but more will be revealed. Okay. There's a number of things going on though. Another battle is like happening with the estate. Okay. Here, let's get into this quick. All right. This article right here. All right. Business Insider. This woman. Okay. She's a Goldman Sachs lawyer. Okay. Her name is Kathleen Rumler. All right. This is another one of these that's going to be super interesting, guys, to see how this shit plays out. Okay. And this is a legal battle that is happening with Epstein's private estate. Okay. And it's, I mean, dude, I'm not sure what leg they have to stand on. I feel like there has to be a way to attack the legality of this. But basically, what it is there's 277 emails between Jeffrey Epstein and Catherine Rumler. And the estate is saying, this falls under attorney-client privilege, right? And that is like, I mean, there's some shit in there. And a court document says Rumler communicated with Epstein about lawsuits involving his victims. I don't know if she was ever actually his attorney. And the estate doesn't want to turn them over. Okay? Catherine Rumler, the top lawyer at Goldman Sachs, came under a microscope after a cache of emails showed a deeper relationship between her and now dead pedo Jeffrey Epstein. Right? Those emails aren't the entirety of the communications Epstein's estate is keeping secret. 277 additional emails between him and Rumler saying they are protected by attorney-client confidentiality. Many of those emails contain discussions of lawsuits by women who accused Epstein of SA according to the court filing. It's a 500-page list of emails and indicating that Rumler gave Epstein legal advice or acted as his attorney. But man, dude, they have to snag this shit. I don't care what they do. I mean, I totally understand whatever, you have attorney-client privilege, but like, bro, once you're dead and you're still embroiled in a massive conspiracy against the government, like tied to the government at multiple international governments, that shit needs to be, like, they need to find a way to break that shit, especially like simply because she's an attorney and she's talking to him, giving him advice. They're getting like the attorney-client privilege. Bro, the shit is crazy, right? And at the time, Rumler was a co-chair of the white-collar defense and investigations practice at Latham and Watkins, which said Epstein wasn't a client, okay? She's never publicly stated whether she worked as an attorney for him, right? See, I don't like this idea that simply the act of a lawyer speaking to someone grants them privilege. You know, I mean, this though, however, guys, is one of the great way that crooks, you know, get away with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can literally just pour your heart out to a lawyer and you're protected. And I mean, there are so many dirty games around the law. Like, it gets especially bad, guys, when there is like a custody battle, right? Because there are laws around custody battles that if, say, the father has spoken to an attorney, that attorney is not allowed to represent the mother, right? So what'll happen is when there's a custody battle, a lot of times, like say the dad's filing for divorce and he wants to fuck over the mom, what he'll do is he'll go and take meetings with all of the top lawyers and share like gory details of the case. And then at that point, he picks one of them, and now all those other lawyers can't work with his wife. And he is thereby like taken away because she doesn't know the divorce proceeding is coming. He has taken away all of the good lawyers, right? There are ways that you can fucking scam this shit because of these, you know, loopholes that allow, you know, once you speak to an attorney, this sort of privileged relationship. It's fucked up. I mean, again, guys, this is the problem. You know, it's the problem with the law is, you know, and anybody who's ever been an attorney, you know, they know that like a lot of the law is manipulatable. Okay. It's true. You can manipulate the law. I mean, you know, it's like super manipulatable in order to, you know, protect your defenses. This is part of the reason why a lot of these rich fuckers get off and you know, poor and medium income people don't, because they simply know like which hoop to jump through. You know, they do. They know which hoop to jump through. They know how to manipulate that law, right? And Trump's lawyers are extremely adept at this. You know what I'm saying? It's made by criminals for criminals. I mean, it's pretty much made to protect the white collar wealthy criminal. I mean, the legal loopholes that these expensive lawyers afford their clients. And beyond that, I mean, even if you look at the basis of the law with the idea of the felony and the misdemeanor, and there's no like hard and fast rule, what is considered a felony or what is considered a misdemeanor, it allows the prosecution and the judge to decide who gets the felony charge and who gets the misdemeanor. And usually what happens is the white guy gets the misdemeanor and everybody else gets the felony, right? And into the prison system they go. Rumler, who now serves as Goldman Sachs chief legal officer and general counsel, previously said she regrets her association with Epstein. A spokesperson for Goldman Sachs said it was a professional relationship. Okay. But now there's a battle brewing between, I guess it's one of the victims, right? It says, emails released in November show Rumler seeking career and real estate advice from Epstein, yada, yada. Those are the ones that were released. She was a top White House lawyer during Obama's administration. She was possibly going to be a Supreme Court pick, et cetera, et cetera. But, right, we know these lawyers. These are the ones that worked with Epstein on his case, especially Dershowitz and Starr when he got immunity, right? Let's see. He, unalived himself. Maybe not, right? But so what does it look like? I'm trying to see who the lawsuit is, right? So Rumler was also a backup executor to his estate in his will. That's interesting, right? Final edition of the will replaced her with Boris Nikolic, former Bill Gates advisor, Indike and Khan, right? Actually became the executors, right? So somebody said what happened to his money. So all of his money was put into an estate in the Virgin Islands. Like all of his money and all of his possessions, everything that belonged to Epstein, all his personal stuff was put into an estate as in the Virgin Islands. And then some of the money was moved into a trust to pay victims. Okay. A significant amount of the money was put into an account that it just sits there, and as new lawsuits come in from victims, it pays out the victims. But then there's executors who manage this estate that have the access to all this. Now, there's some shit that we don't know where it went, okay? Like some of his computers and some of his hard drives. There was some things before he originally got, when he originally got arrested, a whole bunch of his shit disappeared, okay? There were computers and hard drives. He was being arrested in the Palm Beach case, and what ended up happening was he got tipped off, and Adriana Ross, one of his, whatever lieutenants, right? There were these four women, Leslie Groff, Adriana Ross, Natalie Marcinkova, and Sarah Kellen. Okay, those four women were like right under Ghislaine Maxwell as far as managing the girls and the affairs. And so what happened was he found out he was getting arrested. He got tipped off, and Adriana Ross, basically managed a large scale clearing of computers and hard drives. So when they finally showed up to arrest him, a bunch of shit was already gone. And we simply do not know like where that shit is or what happened to it. And then they all got immunity via the original deal. And crazily, none of them have been, have ever spoken about this. And, that's another thing that I think I would like to fucking see would be, I feel like those women got to go on the record at some point, don't they? I mean, they have sort of co-opted with the whole, like, we were victims, they were victims. They were victims that were coerced into being lieutenants. But like, man, they were lieutenants a lot longer than they were victims. And I get it, I mean, I don't know, when you are like the chief sort of managers of a, child trafficking ring, I think you being a victim, all right, sure, we'll take it into account, but it shouldn't simply exempt you from having to like tell your story and having to divulge information. I think, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel, right? Dude, it's crazy though. But yeah, so there's a bunch of shit of his that we don't know where it is. But so this right here, okay, this shit is, excuse me. So they communicated about a lawsuit from accusers that sought to undo the plea deal, and a lawsuit Virginia Giuffre filed against Ghislaine. All right. So yeah, this is pretty intriguing. This is news, guys. So there's like multiple battles here that are not simply like, we're not just talking about the release of the Epstein files. This is going to weigh heavily in this shit as well. So when I think about it, I think about like those three fronts. Like, number one, we have everything that the FBI has and all the existing Epstein files, which are like vast, 20 years of investigation. Okay, so there's all that in possession of the FBI. Then there's anything that's hidden that's still in the Jeffrey Epstein estate, right? There's all of that is still hidden that these guys haven't released. And then on top of that, there's some of that missing shit and whatever testimony could be gleaned from those 4 lieutenant women. Okay. And I guess additionally, there's a fourth part, which is then the financial investigation that Ron Wyden is doing, which is trying to follow the vast amount of money that was like going in and out of, all these shell companies and shit related to Epstein. So, dude, this shit is gnarly, right? Dude, isn't it crazy? Like the MAGA right? Isn't it crazy? The MAGA sort of tune changing. I mean, a lot of them, and I don't know so much about the individual MAGA people, like boots on the ground, but definitely the right-wing influencers are like, what do you mean release them? Right? Oh, it's all Democrats. But I mean, dude, you got to have some cognitive dissonance going on right? Did you see that Scott Jennings post? I mean, look at this shit. We know Scott Jennings is a bootlicker. Okay. We know he is, but look at his posts here. He posted some clip of him fucking on CNN, some TikTok or some shit. But look at what he says. Like, this is kind of the story that a lot of these freaks are clinging to regarding the Epstein. A lot of these right-wing paid influencer guys are. But where is it? It is this one.
Yeah, he knew him, and we also know that he excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago. He got rid of him. He got rid of him out of his life when he realized the guy was a total scumbag.
All right. Dude, this is some dreamer shit right here.
Yeah, he knew him, and we also know that he excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago. He got rid of him. He got rid of him out of his life when he realized the guy was a total scumbag and what he was doing. But you know who didn't get rid of Epstein? The Democrats. After he was a convicted sex offender, you've got him texting with Democrat members of Congress, telling them what to say. Yeah. So you have Trump responsibly excommunicating Epstein and Democrats cozying up to him. Again, I have a feeling we're going to learn about how deeply tied into the left Epstein really was.
Yeah. All right. Now, so, dude, yeah, he's such a bullshit artist. But let's unpack this because number one, if this shit didn't involve Trump and was merely deeply tied to Democrats, this shit would have been out and it would have been on the front page of every right-wing fucking goon squad imaginable. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, Trump went to the end of the earth to try and avoid this shit coming out. And we know that Trump is loyal to no one. So it's not like he did it to protect Bill Gates or to protect Bill Clinton. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So clearly it's not simply this big Democratic problem. But again, the shit he said in the beginning there, oh yeah, Trump distanced himself. Dude, Trump made his cabinet member the man who gave Epstein immunity. Okay? They have never really talked about that. Why on earth, if you hate this guy, you've had bad business deals with him, he's like trying to get you in trouble falsely with trafficking by doing it out of your private club. He's threatening your entire empire. You've excommunicated him. You booted him. You went ahead and fucking turned him into the police, and you did all the right shit because you're so innocent. Why then would you take the man who prevented that guy from going to jail? Why would you take that guy and make him your cabinet member? There's no fucking reason, bro. There's no reason you would make that guy your cabinet member unless you wanted Epstein close to your chest. You wanted a direct line to him. You wanted to know his every move. You wanted to know everything you could. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's redonkulous to think that he was innocent. It insults my intelligence every time they say this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it is so annoying, bro. It is so annoying. And of course, lest we forget that Trump was a Democrat. So, you know, I mean, every time he says Democrats, Trump was a Democrat. Okay, Trump is still basically a Democrat. I know he's masquerading as a Republican, but he still believes in most of the shit that the Democrats do. But yeah, dude, this guy has one of the most punchable faces in all of politics. Does he not? Does he not? He is such a fucking scoundrel, bro. Oh my God, dude. Just a total fucking scoundrel. You know, he's like, oh yeah. Trump just turned his back on this guy.
He got,
dude. Jesus. Yeah, dude, MAGA Mike said Trump was an informant. I know, dude. Dude, they say the craziest shit, bro. Oh yeah, Trump is an informant. There we go. Now we have a clip for the right-wing media. Oh my God. Just, it's so frustrating. I mean, to me, guys, it's frustrating that like all these bootlickers and Trump coverers get such large platforms. Like that, you know, there is so much of the media, of the large platform media that is allowed to just glad hand and cover up for this guy. And it is so problematic. It is, dude. That shit just fucking bothers me, bro. That it does, dude. That shit bothers me like big time. It does. All right, dude, you ready? I'm going to set up the dance party goal, and then we're going to go in there and we're going to fucking blitz through this. And then I'm going to go make a video, and then I'm going to get some sleep. I got a massage tomorrow. I want to get a full night's sleep before it. They need all these people to properly cover. I mean, they kind of do, don't they? But this guy, dude, this guy is just such a schnook, bro. You know what I mean? Such a fucking schnook. Dude, do we get to dance? Dude, you, of course, absolutely get to dance, guys. Right? You get to dance along with it. Right? Dude, I do have to catch up. All right, here we go. We're going to get the dance party goal. There it is. We'll go 45. Got to get those all caps. Let's go, baby. There it is. Oh! The goal is activated. No one can ever trust Republicans. I mean, you would think, right? I think what's really interesting, though, about these, you know, about the Republicans is much of their voter base doesn't it's not even about trust. They don't trust any politicians. They just feel like a large portion of the GOP base trusts no politicians. They're only voting Republican because they believe it's like the right thing to do in the eyes of God. Dude, James, let's go, baby, for the tooth, boss. Oh, that's it. It's a God thing. They are convinced that the Democrats are, demonic. And so therefore they're going to vote for the Republicans because they're not demons. And so it doesn't matter how bad they are. Doesn't matter how scummy they are. They believe that they're preventing a trip to hell by not voting for the demons. Dude, a Scott Jennings punch, that would be amazing. Right? Dude. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, Trump is fucking, what a clown. But all right, dude, let's look at some of these videos, guys. All right. I grabbed a folder here. I believe they're in a folder. Oh, wait, no, they're in my Dropbox. All right, that's where they are. All right, I guess I have to open the thing on here. Hold on one sec. Let's go to the big cam for a minute. I do have to open the Dropbox app. Give me a sec here because I don't normally use the app on this computer. All right. There we go. All right. All right. Hold the phone here, boss man. All right. Do. Need to start calling the religious psychos theocrats. That's an interesting option. Dude, let's go. Proud liberal. Hi, Tommy. Hello, proud liberal. 3 hours of file sync. No, this shit is good. I gotta find though. I believe it was a folder. Oh, there it is. I found it. USVI. I'm going to just pull this out. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in my downloads. There we go. Right. What is that? $325 megabytes. Yeah, no, this should not fucking be a big deal. Oh, I see what's going on. There it is. All right. There we go. There we go. Now we got it. U.S. Virgin Islands. Dude, it was starting to copy 9,000 items, right? Thought of colder allergies? No. Are you talking about me? Dude, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. My voice is just a little trashed from like a lot of singing and only 3 hours of sleep last night. So I'm a little ragged with the no sleep because I've been kind of burning the candle a little bit at both ends, just grinding. Bradford, let's go, baby. Thanks for the gifted membership. Whoever gave it to you, it was probably, I'm pretty sure it was Keeler from Germany. He's been going crazy with the gifteds. Thank you, Bradford. Brad Forward, appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so here's what we got, guys. We have the USVI, U.S. Virgin Islands folder. Okay, these are, hold on one sec. Let me fucking modify the view here so I have the large icons. There we go. All right. So we have a group of images. We have a group of images and videos related to the island. Now, I also have some backup images that I'm going to prepare here too, because I want to put some of this in context. We're going to see some shit in the video, and then we're going to look at some pictures, right, that are, you know, in the sort of the canon of Epstein from the various trials and shit. So you can see some of the people from these cases in the context of these videos, right? And you take back the dancing? Nah, don't take back the dancing, right? We will always be dancing. But it's just really interesting to see this like space, the vibes at this place were, I don't know, man. There's something about it, right? There's something about it that was like just super creepy. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so now I got a double window set up. Dude, let's go. All right. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, here we go. Perfect. So let's get into it. We'll start with the images. Okay, we're going to start with 5621 here. Okay, hold on. I see. I'm gonna have to pull them in. Oh, it's gonna let me pull them into a browser. Okay, so here's the first one. This is the cell phone. Okay, this is this image of the cell phone. Dude, what the fuck is going on, bro? Bruh. Dude, hold on. Let's try this again. There we go. So if you've seen, if you guys have seen any of the pictures of Epstein's spaces, like all of them, okay? Even if you go into, you know, his Palm Beach mansion, okay, where you have like, hold on, like his bathroom. This is a shot from the Palm Beach mansion, okay? This was the bathroom where the massages took place, the second floor bathroom. He always has a phone in every room, bathrooms, bedrooms, like guest bedrooms, whatever. There was a phone, like the same kind of executive phone with, you know, a bunch of push button dialing in every single fucking room of his house. Okay. When you see the police tour the Palm Beach mansion, there's a phone in every room. Like it was just phones everywhere. So he was able to take a call or reach out. So the people that are on this speed dial were like accessible to him, like always, right? Yo, a little late, but you made it. Let's go, Borrow Bad. Glad you're here, boss. Good to see you. So here's a picture of the phone from Palm Beach, or I mean, from the island. This is the phone from the island. And so there's a New York office that's redacted, right? Which I presume is his office. Maybe, right? I mean, he did have a New York office, but there's a New York office. Then there's Darren office and cell, Rich office, Mike cell, somebody else cell, redacted Patrick. So there's a couple cell and offices. I was kind of wondering about this cell and office. Okay. This was the one that I was wondering, where I was like, if Trump was on here, it would be fucking like this one, right? You know what I mean? There's something, you know, there, he could be one of these, but I don't know. I don't know why these guys are redacted, right? I don't think they're victims. You know what I'm saying? So that is intriguing to me, but this is the first image that people are obviously now wondering. Again, right? It could say like this, could say Trump cell, DJT office, or DT office, right? I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know. New York office equals Trump Tower. I don't think so. Epstein had an office in New York. He did. He had a business office in New York City. He did. He had his own. So that could very well be the New York office, I think, is his own office, right? This should be something else under here. This is a different name underneath there. So that could be Trump up there, right? Or, you know what I mean? But yeah, isn't that crazy? So there are some people that are definitely, you know, there are some people that are redacted from there that we don't know. Dude, they redacted women's names. So they definitely redacted like victims' names. Okay, they definitely redacted victims' names. I don't know that victims could be would be separate from here. Brother could be second from the top. You know, Mark could be his brother. Like, you know, we don't know. Again, we're left to sort of like wonder. Trump and Clinton. Yeah, see, I don't think Clinton would be on here. I honestly don't, guys. The thing about Clinton, like Clinton absolutely had a connection to Epstein, and Clinton's door was open to Epstein, okay, based on whatever business deals or if there were like sex deals. Stressful night, you need to dance. Let's go, Nurse Joy. Me too. However, guys, oh yeah, I bet that could be it. That is probably Ghislaine. But the thing about this though, guys, is I don't think Bill Clinton was necessarily like speed dial fucking material. I really don't. I honestly don't, because Clinton was a business partner and Clinton was like his most powerful friend because he was a former president. So you got to remember that Trump wasn't really that powerful back in the 90s and early 2000s. This was before The Apprentice started. Trump was like this renegade New Yorker who was a ladies' man and a scoundrel and a degenerate that hung out with the mob that nobody fucking liked. Okay? Trump was not like a political figure, and he didn't have much power. In fact, nobody would loan him money, which is why when that Russian oligarch gave Trump money to undercut the business deal, Epstein was like, whoa, how the fuck did Trump get $45 million? Okay? Because, you know, Trump didn't have power. He didn't. He was a kind of a fucking hustler, right? He was. And he was not well liked, even though he was well known. Okay? Now, Bill Clinton was different because Bill Clinton was like a president. He was like a real lever of power holder. So Epstein's relationship with Bill was like, I'll take care of you if you like help me with your power. And it was one of those transactional power relationships that was based on money and the shit going on in Africa, right? The Clinton Foundation. And it may have been based around like some sex with women too. Absolutely. But it wasn't, they were never like friends. You know what I'm saying? That was more like a fucking client. It was more like two different kinds of power that enabled each other. Okay. And that doesn't mean Clinton's door wasn't open, because Clinton's door was certainly open. If Epstein needed to speak to him, the door was open. But Trump was like a friend. You know, Trump was like the guy that they fucking go out and party together. And they go and throw events at Mar-a-Lago together. And they, you know, go to these modeling, you know, things. And Clinton was occasionally at some of those like modeling dinners and shit like that. But he wasn't like the foundational element of it. Okay, Clinton was a little bit of an outsider. He was like the guy with all the power. I mean, dude, Trump hung out with Clinton the same way, where like, did Bill and Hillary like Trump? No, they didn't. But Trump was like a required fucking necessity to deal with because he was ensconced in the New York scene. So he was everywhere. So they, you know, invited him to the wedding, and they were like friendly enough with him, like you are in society with people. But, you know, Trump was there because Bill had the power, right? And Trump was trying to get a little something from it too, you know? And so like there was a big difference there that, you know, in the 90s, Trump and Epstein were literally like best buddies, you know? And you know what I mean? And both of them were like just hustlers, right? They were hustlers. Yeah, definitely clout chasers, definitely like money chasers, women chasers, but they were hustlers, you know? And Clinton was much more of an established fucking, you know, he had been president of the fucking United States. Clinton was just in a different league than these guys, you know? You know what I mean? But, you know, the presidents know plenty of hustlers. I mean, look at what Trump's doing right now, dude. He's literally pardoning every white collar criminal, dude. Dude, he is. Every criminal that has ever stolen more than like $10 million is literally getting pardoned right now. Cash Me Outside Patel's birthday is today. Do the hustle. Oh, dude, thank you, proud liberal. Dude, we're going to do one of these. That's for big cashing. Dude, isn't that funny? All right, so there we go. There's the phone, guys. All right, there's the phone. Next up, we have This one I thought was really interesting. This is a chalkboard, right? That has some redacted shit on there. It, you know what I mean? Dude, I mean, I don't know what this is. You know, obviously Epstein, he started off as a teacher, right? So chalkboards were a thing for him. But this is a chalkboard with some names, I guess, on it. Plants, power, deception, appearance, music. Dude, I don't know what to make of this. Dude, I mean, obviously some of it is like some of this core, like, I don't know. Have you guys read Virginia Giuffre's book at all? Right? If you read any of the books by like the victims, Virginia Giuffre or Sarah Ransom, one of the things that all of them say uniformly is that Epstein was like, he was like in love with his own self-image. Okay? He was like, he just was like, I am the smartest, most genius fucking person ever, right? So he's one of those people where if he's talking to somebody and he starts, you know, telling them about, let me tell you about power, and he writes a couple things on the chalkboard, he's gonna like revere that shit. Like you're lucky you got to see me write these words on the chalkboard because I am like the smartest person right on the fucking planet. Dude, and he was a teacher. Yes, he was at the Dalton School in fucking New York City, right? He didn't have a degree, but he literally got hired by fucking Bill Barr's dad to teach physics and math at the Dalton School. He had no fucking degree. It was in the 70s, bro. He was 100% a teacher. Dude, there he is. There's a fucking picture of him, dude, in the fucking yearbook, bro. Right? Dude, unbelievable. Math and science teacher at the Dalton School, one of the most prestigious and elite schools in like upper East Side, dude. I know, dude. Welcome back. Epstein Carter. Yo, Mr. Carter. Dude, he did look like a douche, didn't he? Dude, look at this one. This one is crazy, bro. Look at this shit. I mean, the fashion is wild, but with his little fucking attaché case, isn't that crazy? Dude, he was a fucking teacher, bro. Like, unbelievable. Completely, right? Completely unskilled. But he was there several years, man. He was there several fucking years, bro. All right. So there you go. There's his chalkboard. All right, moving along. Hold on, I'm gonna leave these open in order just in case. So next up, we have 50215. All right, this is a still shot of one of the cabanas. Okay. Hold on. All right, there we go. This is a still shot of one of the cabanas, right? These are the roofs. If you look at the Epstein Island, I just want to give you a fucking a quick picture here, okay? So the main estate, right, had these fucking pointy roofs, right? If you look at it, this is basically the main Epstein estate. They all had these pointy roofs, and the little cabanas where the girls stayed exterior, and here's the main house. But so this is obviously one of those cabanas with the pointed roofs, right? Pretty minimalist. Everything was fucking furnished. They do feel a little bit like a Kubrick movie scene, right? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Epstein fucking, was influenced by that Kubrick sort of sense, right? Epstein was a connoisseur. So anybody who was like highly regarded, he, had to take all that shit in, right? And yeah, there was a lot of shit that was under construction. That the temple part was there. I mean, it was in a constant state of renewal, I feel like, but you see, it was very minimalist, like sort of elegantly, like, functional setup, just sparsely and elegantly fucking, styled, but also, kind of chintzy looking because it was, I mean, it was like a guest house. I mean, not really chintzy, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like super high trendy. It still has that Virgin Islands feel to it. But yeah, the craziness is, just all the chaos that went on in these spaces, and then here's the outside. Okay. Now we're looking at, this is one of the things you'll see. This is the outside. You're seeing the blue things, little inner courtyard. And of course, these things are like hurricane prevention. You guys have been to the Virgin Islands, or you've been to fancy places wherever there's hurricanes. They always have those storm doors to like latch off, so during storms, which kind of give it a creepy look. But like, here's some photos of these girls, right? That you can see them. These are some of the photos. This is 𝗙់_Marcinkova and somebody else, but they're in front of some of these like sort of storm door type things, right? Here's another one of many of these girls that were out there. All these girls were super young. That's Sarah Ransom. She, right? She, she wrote a really horrific book. I mean, the thing that's crazy about this, guys, is it was not, shit was not hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like once the girls were like sort of indoctrinated into the lifestyle, right? Yeah, no, the arches there. I mean, if you look at the, like all of this has it, and that other part, this part over here with that archway is this piece, right? That's looking over to this, essentially, right? Like this area right here is pretty much this and that little doorway. And this is 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀, who was one of his lieutenants. There was a big outdoor table. That's kind of what you're seeing from this angle. That's where that like outdoor table is. Okay. And so, no, so what it was is shutters. Yes. Thank you. They had a very specific method how they did this, where initially a girl would be brought in and she would be told what the deal is and she would get paid cash. And then they would try to bring her back. But very early on, they would impress to the young women that were involved in this thing. They would like show them photographs of their family or if they had siblings or any loved ones. And it was pretty open that Jeffrey Epstein didn't just get his hooks in there with money and to control the money, but he told them, if you tell anybody, if you leave, I will fucking kill your family. And if you think I can't, like, I'll fucking call the president right now. Who do you want? You want to speak to the prime minister of Israel? I'll call Ehud Barak right now. Put him on the phone with them. So he's like, don't fuck around with me. Like, if you fucking do anything out of line, you try to escape, you resist, you have a bad attitude, I will fucking kill your whole family. And here's photographs. There's where your younger brother goes to school. This is where your mom works, right? Her phone number is this, okay? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was very clearly put out. And then, you know, these were already traumatized girls that had some trauma in their history. So then he threatens them and gets them in the loop. Then it becomes like then a weird sort of relationship develops, though, where once they were in there and had sort of accepted their fate, that like, okay, they can't escape. Well, okay, there's a lot of money. I'm jet setting. I'm in New York. I'm going to the Virgin Islands. I can just put the sexual stuff out of my head, disassociate, because they had all been, you know, abused anyway as kids. Then a second layer of shit started happening, where what ended up happening was then the fucking they were competing for his attention, okay? Because he had a stable of girls and they would abuse them, not just with essays. He had a thing about them being skinny, so they were constantly like dieting and getting weighed and getting body shamed. Or if they had some, you know, if they were trying to be singers or actors, he would sort of help them like get one step ahead and then rug pull them. So then they were trying to get on his good side. Like there was a lot of emotional and mental manipulation going on outside of the, you know, once he had him tied in with the threats. And I mean, it was ruthless. The amount of dieting, like all these girls were like undernourished. They were all like low body fat. They were all underweight because of the dieting and because of the constant, you know, attacks on their weight. And he would like monitor their food. They would go to the Virgin Islands and there would be feasts of steaks and seafood and all this rich French food. And the girls would get like a plate of grapes and a little morsel of fish. And that would all they would get because you're too fat. And he would like shun them. Dude, it was fucked up. Like you can't even imagine the shit that was going on, man. You know, and you know, it was pretty brutal. Like pretty brutal. And to say what somebody said is you're right. The girls didn't get well paid. They weren't making a lot of money. I mean, he paid them a couple $100 per event, which was good money for, you know, 2005. But they weren't like getting enough money to like survive. But what they did get What they got, though, was they got the lifestyle. Okay? That's what they got. They got flown on a private jet to New York City to hang out in his 42-room mansion with fucking princes and heads of state. And then they, went and, stayed in the Epstein apartment building. But then they got to go shopping at Saks and Bloomingdale's with his money. And if he sent them away somewhere, there was an expense account. And, he sent Virginia Giuffre to Thailand to learn massage technique. And they wired her, thousands of dollars every week and shit. And so they had access to this, like, unbelievable lifestyle that they would have never gotten in their trailer park existences. But yeah, it was ruthless though, guys. This like, you read these survivor accounts, and this shit was ruthless. And of course, here's the dental chair, right? This thing gives me the creeps. Like, all of these weird faces are fucking bizarre. But, there's a dental chair. There was a medical staff there, guys. Okay, there was a medical staff. Like, again, he didn't really take people. You never really left the compound. It was that kind of, David Koreshi sort of deal, right? Where they had people that, these girls you were just tied. And I mean, who knows what else was going on the dental chair, if they were, making some videos. I mean, yeah, this was a well-defined system. And I mean, especially at the island too. I've told you this story before. Hold on, check the time on our goal. All right, we have 12 minutes. We need 13 and 12. So we're going to take a few minute pause here to fucking grind out on the we're going to grind out on the what do you call it? We're going to get that dance party secured. But so in particular, right, at the island, there was an old couple there, guys, that were in their 60s, like a grandparent-like couple. And they were from South Africa. They lived on the island. Epstein would show up, right? He would show up on a boat to the fucking docks with the girls from fucking St. Thomas, right? They roll in and the old couple are there on the docks waiting for them to welcome to them, right? To welcome the girls. Before the girls were like, if they were brand new, this old couple came in and disarmed them. Oh, it's so great to see you. So the girls are like, wow, I'm at this island. There's this old grandparents couple that are just lavishing us with attention. It's got to be safe here. And they would take them to the cabanas and shit, right? And I mean, so it was a fucking, like, it was a shell game for the minds and the trust from the very beginning. The deception was like deep. Did I catch Nancy Mace's retiring news? I did not. So sad. She will not be missed. Thank you, Gypsy. Let's go. We'll have to look at that. Elite, keep up the good work, boss. I will, boss. Thank you, brother. Good to see you. Let's go, baby. So yeah, dude, they fucking, right? They, such a creepy picture. Let's go. One flew over. It is. See, I'm wondering, guys, about MTG and about Nancy Mace, because think about this, guys. Think about this. Think about if they do fuck over MAGA Mike, or if they do know that there's shit in the files about Trump. And so they're setting themselves up to like resign, and they're going to turn on Trump like halfway through the year. And she may end up trying to ride like, I quit Congress and fucking, disavow Trump because of what came out about Epstein. She may try to ride that if there's some deep shit in here. They know something, Diddy's Love Air flights need to be tracked. I think they do. All right, but yeah, this shit is creepy. All right, next up, we have this one, which is a bathroom. You got these wicker chairs. Again, it's like super sparsely furnished, and there's fucking, whatever, a tub. I mean, I can imagine there was probably a massage table in this room at some point. these were the kind of places that he liked to give massages. He had definitely had a bathroom fetish. Here's another of the bedrooms. This one has a desk office in it. This may have been his bedroom. I'm not exactly sure, right? But this one, it looks a little more, I mean, you notice there's a phone on each side of the bed. I mean, look at the overkill, dude. A phone on either side of the either side of the bed, right? Like, dude, like, you know what I mean? You know? And fucking, and again, though, all of this was just, he literally just went here to grape girls. That was it. And I mean, apparently this guy, like, you know, it was like 3 or 4 times a day he's doing this shit. Like every day. Like this guy had some type of fucking overstimulated problem where he would just like go endlessly, right? All right. Then we've got this one, which is a no trespassing sign monitored by cameras, right? Violators will be prosecuted. They kept this shit very, very battened down, guys. Okay? They did. These beaches, some of the beaches were covered with like shit where you couldn't walk on them to prevent people from like using those beaches to get access to the water. Everything was, you know, super monitored and watched. I mean, the surveillance state, like when, you know, all the survivors mentioned this too, that once you got into this world, there was a level of surveillance where they would give the girls a cell phone. And if they called you, you had to pick up. If you didn't pick up, like right away, they fucking hauled you in. Like they were under constant surveillance. And eventually what happened with these girls is they were on call. Okay. They were on call, right? They would get called at, you know, he'd pay for them to have an apartment, right? Like Virginia Giuffre, he paid for her apartment. She even had a boyfriend that lived in her apartment and he paid for all that shit and gave her money. But then he would call her at like midnight and like, you need to come right over. And like, guys, though, there are windows, you know what I'm saying? These are all windows. Okay. All of these things open up. Those are shutters to the outside. They're all fucking, right? It's just all closed up. But like these all open. Okay. They're the, you know, obviously if you go and look at the outside, that's what those are. Those are all the fucking shuttered things. They're just all closed up. But they are there. It wasn't just a windowless environment. All right. Then you have, this is the sauna, right? Or the steam room. Okay. And again, this picture is like a little heartrending. Okay. Because if you look at this, this was a part of the ritual too, that like after the grape, Jeffrey Epstein would go into the steam room. Okay. And he would go and take a steam and the girls would go in after he graped them. They would go in with towels and go like wipe him down and like rub his feet and shit in the steam room. I mean, it was pretty fucking gnarly. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty, I mean, it was just degrading, like in every possible way. All right. And then here's the one with the chalkboard and his desk, which is his crazy like office. Pretty fucking wild, like super overexposed, right? And now we're going to look at a couple videos. Dude, yeah, it was all about control and his needs had to be gratified. And then what used to happen, guys, okay? What used to happen is again, the girls would then compete to be like his number one, okay? That in addition to them being trapped, they were all fighting each other to try and like get in his good graces, you know? Yeah, a lot of it, I mean, a lot of this, you know, both this and when you look at his Palm Beach mansion, I thought the interiors were pretty garish, right? You know, he didn't, I don't know, dude. He was really fancy and had a lot of money, but a lot of his interiors were pretty tacky, you know. But again, you know, this shit was from the 80s and 90s. So what was cool and fashionable then really, you know, it didn't age well. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I got to get a dentist. The worst thing about my tooth, the tooth doesn't even hurt. There's just a jagged edge that's really bothering my tongue. All right, you ready though? Now we're going to watch some videos. All right, let's get in here and watch some videos. Okay, so obviously this is during a rainstorm. Again, we're going to locate this. This is that central courtyard. There's the pool. Look at that. That's the table and shit that is from this. Okay, so you can see this in perspective. Again, here's a table. He's got his phone. There's Sarah Kellen giving him a massage. He was always getting a massage, but this is outside, and this is, that's right there. He was sitting right there. The person taking the picture was standing over at this end, photographing it. There's a lot of pictures of like Jean-Luc Brunel, okay, at the, let me see, if you look at Jean-Luc and Ghosn, right? There are pictures of Jean-Luc and Ghosn. There they are. There's one with Jean-Luc and Ghosn. Fucking right there on that spot. Same table. You can see, here's the archway. Okay. There's, again, them in front of the shutters. Yada, yada. Okay. Like, dude, yeah, he was fucking gnarly. But there they are under the archways. I mean, they were at the island all the fucking time, dude. Okay? There's like, you know. I mean, just putting it all in perspective, right? That kind of like, you know, places you sort of inside the space. I like that shit. Like the visualization. I don't know if you guys do it. I was an actor for a number of years. So me like connecting photographs like that and doing that sort of visualization is really like important. Oh shit. Oh fuck guys. We got 2 minutes. We need 9 more. Oh shit. We got to grind the goal, dude. We may end up starting this one over again. I fucked up. Oh fuck, bro. Dude. All right. Dance party time. Let's fucking make it happen, boss. Oh, shizzle. Dude, 135. All right, we may be tapped out. We may have missed it. Oh, I wish I'd seen the fucking 4 minute or 5 minutes. I fucked up. That's all right. It's all right. We'll reset. Oh, shit, boss. My bad. Dude, I get into this fucking Epstein shit. Dude, oh, 12. Here we go. 8 more. Dude, can we get 8 in a minute? I don't know if we can, boss. Dude, that would be a lot. Here we go. The final minute. Oh, shit. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, I feel like they need an alert or something. There needs to be a chime that says you have 15 minutes left or some shit like that. I can't keep track of that. So it doesn't even show a counter, and then it shows 4 minutes, and then that shit just runs out. It's the final countdown, dude. We're out on this one, though, boss. All right? That's all right. We'll let it go, and we'll just we'll reset. Try to get the other 10, right? Dude, and fucking, it's going. Dude, I feel irresponsible, all right? Dude, I'm like, I want a chime. I'm going to request that feature. Looks like a fucked up army camp. It does sort of have a boot campish kind of vibe. Nah, it's all right. We're going to get it. Dude, we'll reset it. Dude, oh shit, let's go, Justin. There we go. Dude, 13, dude. All right, we almost got it. Here, let's fucking reset it. Here we go. We're going to just reset. All right, we got this. 45 minutes, dude. Girl Friday, let's go. Thank you. Dude, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Girl Friday. All right. Dude, but yeah, it fucking has a boot camp feel. But now it's raining and shit. Let's see the vibes, though. Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's wild though too, because I bet like outside of the, you know, the fucking graping and shit, it was amazing, right? To be there on this fucking private island, the sun streaming down and snorkeling and whatever. Just completely free. There's fucking chef cooking all these meals. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of the abuse, it was a paradise, which was such a fucking paradox for these young women to deal with. I mean, also, this is after the whole thing. There was, right? There was, you know, it looked a little different when they were living there. There was patio furniture. I mean, this has all been shuttered. This is long after, right? That's one of the things that's weird about this is it was way more lived in when they, you know, when they were there. Fucking statues. Dude, I've been to boot camp. I have not been to boot camp, but all my family has, right? Everybody in my family was military except me. Right? I didn't go into the military. Here's another one. Okay, this is like down by the beach and overlooking the fucking, there's, I don't know if that's a helipad or some shit. Yeah, this statue's pretty weird. I mean, it looked like, you know, the statue was some type of native warrior, right? I don't know if it was like, you know, when I looked at it, I thought it was some sort of like, I don't know if it was one of the native peoples from the Virgin Islands. This person seems to be obsessed with the statue. All right, here's an interior video. Now, this is interesting because I think this is really interesting. So the other thing he used to do, and he was very like efficient at this and very on top of it, is he used to stock all these beauty products. Okay. So like, again, most of the girls that he was bringing here were, you know, they were girls that were from abusive families, that were poor. They were like trailer park girls, essentially, or girls from West Palm Beach or, you know, 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗶𝗪, right? Where it's like really poor parts of the Palm Beach, southern Florida, like more inland by the swamps. And he would bring them to, you know, the island, and they would go into the cabanas or whatever, and there would all these like top level, like the most expensive beauty products you could imagine were just fully stocked. Okay, dude, what's up, Disturbed? Good to see you. What's up, punks? LFG, right? And so he always did that. He had that weird thing where he would have everything a girl could possibly want to like take care of themselves, but then it would come with the price of him, you know, berating them and forcing them to fucking do it. But he had a real attention to detail with this shit, you know? And you see the scale? I mean, that right there too, the scale was like so important. You know what I'm saying? The scale was like super important, right? You know, and it's fucking pretty. This is just one of the guest rooms, right? You can see the guest rooms don't have a phone, right? They don't have phones everywhere. But of course, when someone was staying there, the girls' clothes would be there, et cetera, they might have their knickknacks or whatever. And as far as the dentist stuff goes, you know, I mean, I don't know what else they use the chair for, but you know, if you are eating in, you know, there's a lot of things in the Virgin Islands. If you're eating seafood or crab or whatever, there's a lot of things that could potentially damage somebody's teeth. I mean, the whole dental thing and the whole medical office was to make sure if somebody got hurt, if somebody tried to take their own life, if somebody was eating some crab and fucking chipped a tooth, they wouldn't have to go anywhere, right? The idea was this place was self-contained. There was never, once you were there, you weren't getting off, you know? And eventually what he did too was there was a nearby island. He bought the neighboring island because there was only one island you could swim to, okay? And that island was, he bought that one too, so they couldn't even swim off the island. But another thing though with the dentist is he was obsessed with their grooming. Okay. He wanted these girls to look perfect, which meant their teeth were like bleached and cared for, right? He did not like these girls. He wanted them skinny and, you know, dressed in a certain way. And he wanted them, you know, their skin to feel like luxury soft. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of it was he made them look a certain way in order for him to remain attracted to them. It was really fucking disturbing, guys. I mean, you just can't even imagine, right? You know, you just can't even imagine when you, right? And here's another, looks like another guest room. Same shit. Stay nice and warm in here. Looks like there's a little water leak. Again, the beauty products, right? So yeah, so that's the clip. That's what we have. Dude, right? That's it. That's all we have is those 15 little bits. Dude, it all does look really sterile. Now, if you go and look at some of the images, right? Like we're going to bring some other images here. Okay, we have, this is Sarah Kellen, and he flew in on his jet. Okay, he would fly girls in on his little plane, his either prop plane or whatever. That was Sarah Kellen. That's a girl that is also same girl, Sarah Kellen. This is her with shorter and darker hair. She was one of his chief lieutenants. She got immunity, but he had an airstrip there. Okay, and again, right? You had the groups of girls out there by the shuttered areas. I mean, if you look at them, they're all really skinny, okay? They were all kept really, really skinny. Here's another photo of Sarah Kellen massaging him out at that table, right? Here is the, hold on, let me get the other one. Yeah, here is this is the little, like, let me use this one. This is the little temple thing that I don't think ever really got completed, right? But that was built on like this sort of section. Who are the janitorial staff? So he had people that lived there, okay? He had people that lived there full time. You had that old couple from South Africa that sort of managed a lot of it. And then he had, you know, a butler and a chef and gardeners. And there were work crews that were managed by Ghislaine Maxwell that were always out there building shit. And I mean, they had a lot of, like, these are the crops. Here's a picture of those girls, right? Various females. This is Sarah Ransom. These were from the case against Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And Nadia Marcinkova. And then some other unknown girls, right? I mean, it was pretty fucking gnarly. Oh, yeah. So that's Nadia, right? And, dude, Adam, let's go, baby. It's Nadia, and I don't know why they blurred her face in some and not others. But, yeah, this is also out there. Dude, the shit. Dude, Funny Grunt, thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Adam. So yeah, dude, this stuff was pretty crazy. Whoops, sorry. I'm trying to fix some spelling here. I have some shit that I spelled wrong that I need to fix real quick. There we go. All right, there we go. Perfect. So yeah, so that puts it all into perspective of, you know, what was going on there. And dude, yeah, those videos are creepy because you're right. It was like super clinical. Now again, guys, from the survivor accounts, okay, it was slightly less clinical when they were there, okay? He had like bathing suits and clothing and, right, he had a bunch of stuff. Like those rooms were like stocked with shit. Like a girl would go to a cabana and there would be a bunch of like luxury, highfalutin bathing suits and a bunch of like loungewear from, you know, Bloomingdale's and Saks and, you know, Dolce and Gabbana and shit. So there was like the girls were brought to these spaces and they were surrounded by luxury, right? Hold on, let me find the one. They were brought into these rooms, into these sterile rooms, but they were filled with luxurious clothes and wonderful hair products. And, you know, it was, the whole thing was like this like life of luxury that was then, you know, you were also a sexual slave that was called into his chamber, right? And yeah, the as far as like not having a lot of shit, you know, like they, you know, they didn't live here year round. and I think it's true that a lot of wealthy people have more Spartan existences, right? They don't like, I don't know. They don't like, a lot of wealthy people don't revel in nostalgia quite like we do. And in fact, one of the things you learn about Jeffrey Epstein is he wasn't much for knickknacks and shit. He was more for, like, he had a room of photographs. Now, again, I don't know what, like, these looked like when the girls were living there. This is like a year or two after Epstein died. So there was probably lamps and other shit here. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't know what it looked like when it was in operation. I'm sure it looked a little bit like different than this. But I will say, somebody said, what are your thoughts on the Playboy Mansion? So, I mean, dude, the Playboy Mansion, that whole situation is like a little complicated because I had a sister who worked at the Playboy Club. So the Playboy Club was a thing in the 70s. Okay. We lived in Wisconsin. We lived in a small town called Elkhorn that was very close to Lake Geneva. And Lake Geneva was like a resort town and a town where a bunch of wealthy people lived. And there was a Playboy Club there. All right. There was a club where all the waitresses dressed like Playboy bunnies with the little tails, super skinny fishnets. One of my half sisters worked there. And we used to go visit her. We would go have dinner at the Playboy Club. I mean, it was pretty fucking bizarre. I mean, the sexualization of women was very different then, right? Because now there are places where women, sexualize themselves or choose to for money. But it's different now. It feels very different now than it did in the 70s. In the 70s, it was more like that was all women could get. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like if you were a young, pretty girl, you would get a job as like a secretary where you would get sexually harassed by your boss. Okay? And maybe end up being his fucking mistress. Or you would get a job at the Playboy Club or some fucking waitress place where you had your shirt cut down all the way to the bottom. And that was it. That was the only options you had, right? It wasn't like the women were choosing to work a job where they were, making money off their sexuality. They didn't have any other options, okay? And then everybody like touched them and sort of broke the fourth wall with them. Putting a hand on the small of their back, touching their fucking butts and shit, licking their neck. Like I tell you the story of the manager at the restaurant I worked at. So this shit was pretty fucking toxic, guys. You know what I mean? And so, but I do have a funny story about the Playboy Club though, because I never went inside the Playboy Mansion, but Hugh Hefner, my dad idolized Hugh Hefner. Okay. My dad was a pornography addict and he used to watch it. Eventually there was a channel on cable. The Playboy channel came out that had like it didn't show penetration, but it had like actual sex once, like after the penetration, it showed the whole thing. My dad used to watch that while we fucking ate dinner, guys. That was the kind of house I grew up in, where my father put the Playboy channel on during dinner. Okay. There was like sex on a TV set viewable from the fucking, and my mom was at that table and my half sister who was like 5 years older than me. So I grew up in a very fucking like fucked up environment like that. My dad was messed up. So my dad idolized. Dude, yeah, no, it absolutely was abuse. But I had already been sexually abused by then by a couple of my half brothers. So that paled in comparison. It didn't feel like abuse. That just felt like normal. I didn't like it, but it was, just the way it was. But my dad was obsessed with fucking Hugh Hefner. He was, dude. He was obsessed with fucking, you know, Playboy. He had Playboy magazines and Hustler magazines. And like, he exposed me to pornography at like, I was like 5 when he first showed me pornography and was like trying to teach me how to be a man. It was messed up, dude. He had a deck of playing cards that were like Hustler playing cards. It was so beyond abusive. And he thought he was like training me to be a man. He wanted me to be a womanizer. That was really important to him. But so my funny story though about the Playboy Mansion is it's not that far from where I went to college. Okay. I went to college at UCLA, and the Playboy Mansion is up in the hills, right? Like Bel Air, like just above UCLA. So my first girlfriend, okay, her name was Tracy. She lived in the North Valley. I met her. I was in the fraternity at UCLA. And the night that I first, you know, made out and like hooked up with my first girlfriend, we were at the party. Okay. This was my first girlfriend ever, Tracy, right? She came to a fraternity party. She was smitten by my dancing. I was, as you may have guessed, I was a big dancer. I was like the dancer in my fraternity. Okay. I was literally like, dude, I could dance better than all those fucking guys. And I really stood out. Speaking of which, dance party goal. Let's go. Let's hit that shit. So anyway, so the night I met Tracy, I was dancing. She was like smitten. We danced together. And I was like, do you want to get out of here? Do you want to go for a ride? And so we got on my scooter and I drove her to the Playboy Mansion. Okay. I drove her to the Playboy Mansion, and I parked my scooter and we walked up to the thing and we had our first kiss right in front of the gate of the fucking Playboy Mansion. And during our kiss, there's like a rock with a speaker in it because there's a camera. And in the middle of our kiss, the fucking voice comes over the thing like, can we help you? And we're like, oh, fuck. Dude, they were watching us on the closed circuit TV. And that was like our first kiss. And we were like, oh my God. And we fucking ran back to the scooter and drove back to the fraternity house. But so I don't know. It was weird. Dude, LFGO, dance reminder, ding, ding. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So it was a weird mixed thing. Okay. That was in 1987 88. I met her in the spring of 88. So that was 1988. But so it was weird, guys, because I had a disdain for like the Playboy Club and Hugh Hefner and the toxicity of my dad. But at the same time, I had an acceptance of it because it was like ingrained in me from like little on. So it was just a weird fucking thing. It was a Honda Elite 80, right? That was my scooter, right? It was a red one. Right? One of these bad boys. There it is. Oh, shit. Let's go. I had one of those. That was my fucking transportation on campus, right? I had one of those bad boys. Dude, let's go. Dude, 80 scooter, easy parking, forever on gas, fucking goes like 45, 50 miles an hour if you're going downhill. Dude, it was great. It was awesome. It was amazing, like getting to class and zipping around campus. Dude, it was the ultimate thing. I paid, I don't remember, I think it was like $1,800 or something. I paid payments on it. You had a white one? Let's go. And then, but like for a while there though, I ended up getting this bookkeeper job one summer for some Scientologists. Stop stupidity. Let's go. And what I did was they were in North Hollywood, and I rode my scooter from UCLA to North Hollywood for my job. And then what I did was I worked out a deal with the boss where I was making like $10 an hour. I was making $400 a week working full time. But I was like, dude, I need to keep this job while I go back to school. And so I'm going to come here 2 days a week, and I'm going to do the same work in those 2 10-hour days. that I would normally do in 40-hour week. And I want you to pay me a salary. And if there's ever a problem, I'm not getting the work done, you can call me out and we'll change the deal. It is at your discretion. And he agreed to it. So at one point, I was riding from UCLA to North Hollywood on my Elite 80, and I was making $300 a week working fucking like 15 hours. Okay. I anywhere from 7 to 10 hours on those 2 days. I was making great money, just salary, being a bookkeeper for this guy. And I finally had enough money to like live the college life. And then my scooter got ripped off. I went to my parents' house one night to do laundry, and they came home and they were like, how'd you get here? And I'm like, what do you mean? Somebody stole my fucking scooter and they trashed it and joyrode it, and it was totaled, and the insurance company paid me out like half of its value, and I was fucked. I had no transportation. And that's what contributed to me ending up quitting college, is I just got totally fucking hosed. I had the ultimate fucking, existence, and then I lost it all, like, boom, like that, which was kind of brutal. But it wasn't without a purpose, because I needed to become a rock and roller, and I was never going to start that rock and roll leg of my journey if I hadn't quit school. So ultimately what happened was the universe conspired to fucking take away everything. I mean, it got worse, right? After the scooter got ripped off, I didn't have, then I had to get a local job at like Big Five. Then I fucking did my laundry, got a ride home and put all those bags in my fraternity room. And I left. It was during the summer. I went to my girlfriend's house. I came back and all my laundry was gone. Somebody had left the door open to the fraternity, and somebody came in there and stole all my clothes. I lost every bit of clothing that I had, dude. Everything. Every piece of clothing except what I was wearing, gone. Everything I owned, gone. Dude, it was crazy. Like, so then I got my fucking student loan money, and I had to go buy clothes. I couldn't even fucking pay for school shit. I couldn't even get books because I had to literally go out and buy some fucking clothes because I had nothing. Dude, it was like the whole universe just conspired to get me out of there, bro. Right? Dude, that's what it was, man. And I'm glad it worked out. Did I miss one? All right, let's go. Dude, stop the stupidity. Oh, C-Punk. Let's go, baby. Thank you. Oh. All right, guys. Let's get it. 17 minutes. Let's bring it home. Let's do this. All right, we're doing it. So there you go. Little life story. Yeah, man, that Epstein shit is wild. All right, we're burning through, baby. Next up. Oh, shit. I didn't want that. All right. Dude, let's get her done. All right. So, dude, two things quick. Dude, we got this. 15 minutes. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Since kindergarten, you walked to school alone? Yeah, I used to walk to school alone, too. Always had that. Stop this stupidity. Let's go, baby. Bringing it home. Oh. Oh, shit. So, dude, let's talk about Sabrina Carpenter, shall we? Can we just talk about Sabrina Carpenter? Because, guys, this shit is crazy, okay? I don't know if you guys have watched this, but let me just tell you, okay? This Sabrina Carpenter shit is unfucking believable, all right? Because, first off, so what happens, I'm going to keep the music muted because obviously I'm not going to fucking I'm not going to get the copy strike from her, but I believe, didn't they use man-child? What did the 15-minute warning, guys? Let's go. Let's hit it up. Dude, I love Sabrina Carpenter. I actually play as her a lot when I play Fortnite. Dude, I love her. And I've not been a huge fan of her music, okay? I had not. I was never really a big fan of her music, but I love her relationship to women's sexuality, okay? Her comfort with her body, the way she expresses herself, like using her magnetism and her sensuality and her sexuality without care. She doesn't, she's not going to be shamed into being chaste or proper. But guys, I've gone back and started listening to her music, and her fucking music is amazing, dude. She always has a really great band. I've been minorly obsessed the last 2 days where I have been listening to her music. But now, dude, look at this. Have you ever tried this one? Bye bye. Let's get this party going, Leah. Let's get the dance party, guys. Let's get her. Let's get her done. But so, dude, Trump, again, he makes a video, guys. And guys, this I have a problem with. This is a recurring situation with the Trump administration. And you know what it is, guys? It's a complete and utter disrespect for the law and no consent. Okay? They've continually used music. Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Sabrina Carpenter. They keep using music of people without consent. Okay? Consistently, they do this. They don't ask for consent. They put out content that is breaking DMCA law, and they're flaunting this. And this is fucking problematic. Okay? I don't like that shit. As a creator, as a rock and roller who made a living like doing that for part of my life or part of my living, I never made a full living. But dude, the abuse of our music and our IP without, any respect or even asking consent is a real fucking problem, right? It's not a huge problem when you're mega rich, but when you do it, what happens is when the president does it to the mega rich, then everybody just does it to everyone. And the people who pay the price for it are the indie level people that are having all their shit get abused, and they don't have a record label to shut it down. Okay, dude, Hillary, let's go. Thank you. All right, guys, let's bang this out. We got it. Let's hit it up. But so anyway, again, I'm keeping it muted, but Trump makes this nasty ICE video, right? ICE out of Chicago, right? And then they show people, but again, they're trying to like make people look bad, right? The way they do in this video, as you'll see, they're trying to demonize the protesters and make a nasty statement about them, right? Oh, they show the person with the mask. Oh, they're masked. They're overweight, right? You know what I'm saying? And dude, so this shit is just like a constant fucking hate parade from them, and them trying to demonize the protesters and trying to, make content around their brutal, abusive ethnic cleansing that they're trying to do in the state. Isn't without consent Trump's thing? It is stupidity. It is, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, Trump is just a rapist through and through. I mean, he said it, he grabs him. He doesn't even ask. That's literally what he's been. He's been a rapist in every way, shape, or form his whole life. He's pushed himself into social circles where no one wanted, into business areas where no one wanted, simply by force, never any consent. He is just a rapist from start to finish. Sweating, dance goals till the final five as usual. Yes, we're getting it, baby. Halfway there, we got this. All right. So anyway, they post this, right? Have you ever tried this one? Bye-bye. And look at what she comes in and says. Dude, I love her. I love her. She says, this video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. Right? And like, dude, We used to use snaps in the fraternity, right? The quiet clapping. Let's fucking go, dude. Love it. But guys, look at this ratio. I have never seen a ratio this brutal, dude. 79,000 likes for Trumpy's little shit. Dude, her fuck you, 1.5 million. Dude, Tiana, let's go. Oh, let's give a Trumpy for Tiana. Oh, fuck you, Trumpy. Oh, Trumpy, get shit on. Stop the stupidity, bringing it in. Let's go. 10 minutes, ding, ding. Dude, look at this. But, dude, this ratio, I think this is one of the most brutal ratios I have ever seen, guys, on Twitter. Dude, 1.5 million. Oh, right? Now, again, even with the fucking right wing fucking feeding on Twitter, look at this, bro. This tells you a lot, man. Yeah, dude, her tweet got 1.5 million likes. It got fucking 204,000 retweets. Just buried his original shit. And then, of course, they had a spokesman make a comment about, oh, are you stupid or are you slow? But, like, the crazy shit is the people that have been attacking her, guys. Okay? Like, if you look at this, okay? If you look at this, right? I know 204,000 retweets. If you look at this, they have been attacking her, boss. Like, right? Yeah, the biggest ratio of all time. Absolutely, dude. But people have been quote tweeting her. Let me find some of these right-wing quote tweets, okay? Because she just demolished him. That is absolutely, I think that is the biggest ratio ever in the history of Twitter. I am pretty certain that is the biggest ratio, okay? And now, right? Let me see if we can find some of these right-wing fucking comments, because the right-wingers have all used one method of attack, okay? Almost uniformly, they've attacked her for her, like, sexuality. Let's go, guys. 8 minutes. 9 and 8. We got this, okay? Right? And, I mean, dude, she is just beautiful and charming, and she's, not afraid to sort of flaunt her stuff. But, like, if you look at people, like, here's what I've seen, guys, okay? Yeah, no, their comments about Sydney Sweeney are so different, right? And the thing about this, though, guys, thank you, Stop the Stupidity, is the thing about this, guys, is Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter are different, okay? Because Sydney Sweeney, if you notice, Sydney Sweeney plays the role of, like, I am yours to take, okay? That's what Sydney Sweeney does. Sydney Sweeney doesn't really flaunt her sexuality. She just shows up and she's bejugged, okay? And shit's like falling out, and she's like, oh, I'll play the dumb one, you know what I'm saying? And I'll play the girl, like, oh, I'm not that pretty. And they're just like, oh, you're so humble too, right? She plays that fucking, like, I am your object to take, okay? But I'm not really flaunting my shit. I'm pretending like I don't have any shit, and then you're taking it from me, okay? Where Sabrina Carpenter is like, I am directing this show, and I am fucking taking you through my sexuality, and it's gonna break the barriers of what you say is proper for me, and you're only looking at me because I am fucking getting you to look at me, and I am proud of this shit, and you're not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Dude, Drew Ladd, let's go. There's a huge difference, guys. All right, dude, we're coming up. We got fucking 5 minutes. Let's bring it home strong. Like, for example, okay, if you look at, oh, shit, dude, let's close the fucking, that shit is no good. But, like, look at Crowder, okay? All of these guys. Let's get this party going. Let's go, Gazria. We got it. Oh, there it is. 4 more. Or 5 more. 6 more. I don't know. I can't count. Sorry. Dude, we're almost there. All right, 6 more. We got this. But so look at what Crowder did. Okay? Crowder, and that's why they like Sydney Sweeney. But look at this. These guys, dude, stop the stupidity. Let's go, dude. We will not miss this dance. We will not, Steve. Let's go, baby. We're bringing it home. 4 minutes, and we need 4 left. We got this. But so look at this. They've all attacked her in the same way, okay? They've all attacked her with, aren't you the same girl who shot a murder fantasy, kill men music video in a Catholic church, okay? Stop the stupidity. Let's go, baby. 3 more. But, dude, this has been the right-wing attack, is they have attacked this video she made in a Catholic church, okay? That this is a big deal. And like her video is all, her music is like clowning men. She like sort of belittles men, which they don't like. But dude, I don't understand. They're all mad that she got like sexy in a Catholic church. It's like, hello, the Catholic Church is literally known for molesting children. And you're going to complain about this woman like taking like unashamed sexuality into the Catholic Church? Like they don't get it. It's like, Steven Crowder, you dumb fuck. If you could feel about your sexuality the way Sabrina Carpenter did, and you took that in the church wouldn't have been molesting kids. Okay? These fucking right-wingers don't get it because they're repressed fucking degenerate freaks. Okay? They don't get the point, dude. I just retweeted and followed her. Let's go, C-Punk. Dude, let's go. We made it. Stop the stupidity. Bringing in another one. Dude, we did it, guys. I'm so proud of us. Dude, and we got led by some big ones, too. By 𝗙𝗍𝗹𝗹𝗀. Thank you. And then we got the big fucking sticker from, we got a Drew Lad. And then we got the big sticker from, oh, shit, I fucked that up. I forgot the U. From Tiana. Let's go, baby. Dude. F47, yes, Disturbed, I agree. Dude, we did it. Goal achieved. Let's go. But so everybody though was attacking her with this, okay? Everybody was. I bet if I look up Catholic Church, you're going to see a whole bunch of them, right? Attacking Sabrina Carpenter about it. Look at this. Here's another one, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? This video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my church to benefit your inhumane agenda. I actually responded to that one. I was like, dude, your fucking church is nothing but child molesters. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, these people, it's like, do they have no sense of fucking shame or reality, right? But man, dude, They like went all out. They were so mad about her. Okay, dude, she is an ally to everybody. Now, I want to play something for you guys. Again, I'm not going to play the music, but like, dude, this performance, I'll put a link to it here. If you haven't seen this, she was on Saturday Night Live a couple weeks ago, and she did Man-Child on Saturday Night Live. But like, guys, she has like a diverse band, okay? She always works with some of the top musicians, and diverse, there's people of color, there's like every different race and sexual orientation involved in her shit. She's an ally to everybody, okay? She's an ally to everybody who just wants to feel good about themselves and to harness their energy and flaunt it. You know what I mean? Flaunt your fucking energy. You know what I mean? Just literally flaunt your energy and fucking, you know, get out there. You know what I'm saying? And, right? And she is so real and so, like, adorable. But even with her song in Saturday Night Live, she built a set, okay? They had a set. It's a set piece. Like, so incredible, right? It is. It is. I want to find the shot where it shows the whole room, right? Wait, it's coming up right here. There we go. Right? The whole thing is a set with the fucking band. I mean, it's just amazing. And you know what else is wild about this? Is this color scheme, and the dress is sort of like, you know, there's like a 50s element to it. a lot of her is like these bygone fashion days, right? The dude, oh, you live in the Canary Islands? Let's go, man. Dude, Canary Islands is on my fucking short list of if we become a theocratic fascist government, I will be moving to the Canary Islands. Let's go, HSK. Love it. But so her whole thing is she takes like the 50s look and the 60s look and the 20s look and the 30s look. She takes the look and the style and the pinup of a time when women didn't have the power to like control their sexuality, when they were just victims of that male gaze. And she like adds a woman who is not a victim of the male gaze. She's a woman who doesn't give a shit about the male gaze, and she manipulates it and she tantalizes it, but she doesn't like bow down before it at all. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's crazy because it's like, it's like beautiful and without just being straight sort of like sex. You know what I mean? It's not like pornographic at all. But what's wild is how the right wingers see anybody who's comfortable with their sexuality is pornographic to a right winger, right? Like if you're comfortable with your sexuality, they think you're pornographic. You're being pornographic. Just right. If you step anywhere outside of their biblical repressed shithole, okay, they think it's like pornography. But man, this video is fucking great, dude. But right, the saxophonist comes in, and then there's a part where she fucking turns the lights out, and it just goes down to the background singers. And there's another part where she talks to the fucking, sits down and talks to the mirror through the little dudes, the boy toys that she has at the mirror. Dude, it's so good. And then in the end, she fucking turns the lights out and fucking goes to sleep, dude. It is amazing, dude. She's just incredible. You know, she is like, you know what I mean? Like, dude. But here's what I tweeted though, guys, that I think is really interesting here. And I want to finish on this because this is one of the things, you know how we've been talking about TPUSA. We've been talking about Charlie Kirk, okay? We've been talking about how they're like trying to groom young men, okay? Right? They're trying to groom young men, and they're specifically using religion to weaponize resentment against women in young men, to resentment against the LGBTQ and trans women in young men, to weaponize them as like foot soldiers of the Christian MAGA right wing. Okay? They're very focused on this. They've been doing this for 10 years, guys, and they went heavy on it during the pandemic. With the social media propaganda, libs of TikTok, Benny Johnson, they are fucking like going hardcore on this. That is their chosen group because young men don't vote. So they're trying to weaponize them to bring back that old school misogyny, anti-LGBTQ, and transphobia. Okay? It is very bad. I mean, it's bad for the men, dude. It's just really toxic for the men. That type of mentality, like if you look at like my dad, that was my dad. Dude, he was not healthy. Okay, my dad, most of the men of my generation are not fucking healthy. They're damaged. They're emotionally dysregulated. They have sexual issues that they fucking have never dealt with because they're not even comfortable with their sexuality. They have all this shit repressed, and they end up either jumping out of their office window, or they hit their wives, or they hit their kids, or they're fucking drinking themselves into oblivion. I mean, they do nothing but hurt the people around them because they can't manage their own goddamn emotional condition. And it is like fucked up. And like the Sabrina Carpenters and the fucking, you know, gender advancements of the world are trying to change men. So we're no longer like that. So we no longer have to live in this stricture of manhood that like keeps us emotionally dysregulated and angry. Okay. The only emotion the men get is anger, which is not healthy. Okay, you need to feel that sadness. You need to feel that vulnerability. You need to feel that deep connection. You need to be able to hold space for other people while they feel their shit. If you're going to be a whole man. I mean, there's so much out there. It's like, dude, it's like there's 64 million colors and men have been allowed to paint with 5. And it's like, dude, that's why men are so dysfunctional. But the problem, though, that I have is like, you know, they talk about the male loneliness epidemic and they want to blame it on women and they want to blame it on like women getting educated or indoctrination or whatever or being woke. But dude, the reason why there's a male loneliness epidemic, guys, is because most of the men I see online, at least, are like, they will glaze Donald Trump. Okay, they will like emulate Trump, do his stupid little jerk it dance. They will be like, Trump, wear Trump merchandise. They're kissing Trump's ass. They're like, we want to be like Trump, wearing the Uncle Sam clown suit, glazing the fuck out of a dirty, corrupt 80-year-old rapist. And then there's a powerful woman like Sabrina Carpenter out here who's changing the fucking world. And they look at her and they treat her like shit, okay? They take a truly incredible woman and they shit on her and they fucking denigrate her and they insist that she's dirty and deceptive and terrible, right? Somebody who's empowered and powerful and fucking, yeah, they fucking hate her. They resent the shit out of her, but they will literally polish the knob. They'll suck the D of the 80-year-old rapist. Or like, yeah, sniff Andrew Tate's chair and fucking rub oil on his chest and shit. Dude, it's so toxic. Now, I want to show you one more thing, guys. You ready? Because remember how we talked about Sydney Sweeney, who they love, versus Sabrina Carpenter, and how it's not just about the politics, but it's also about the male gaze. Okay, Sydney Sweeney behaves like the beautiful girl inside the male gaze. But I want to show you the thing about Sabrina Carpenter that sets this apart, because there's one point in this video, guys, where she actually like shakes her booty and like totally does her sort of sexual. But you see what she's doing? She's shaking it for herself, guys. Right? I'm like getting teared up just thinking about the metaphor of this and about the power of this woman. Because yeah, she is celebrating her sexuality, but she is looking at herself. She is celebrating her own beauty. She is not doing it to get a man. She is not doing it to be valued by men. She is like doing it for herself, for women, for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? And like, man, that's what it is. It is like sexuality through the male gaze, like trying to attract the male gaze, or whether you're expressing your sexuality where you're expressing it to the female gaze. And that's a huge fucking difference, man. Okay? It is a big difference. And this is why they hate her. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Girl in the room singing and dancing to herself. Yeah. It's like a girl in a room, right? Wanting to be a singer. This is probably what Sabrina Carpenter was doing when she was, 12. When she was like, I want to be a singer, and I'm dancing around my room singing along with my fucking hairbrush. I mean, I did this shit, guys. I had a tennis racket and I used to dance in front of a mirror and just be so enamored with myself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this is part of like why I keep my hair and why I fucking take my hat off all the time and make sure to do things where like the hairline is out there, because I think, dude, I have a rogue hair, dude. My hair is going down, boss. But it's about that loving of yourself, that relishing in your vessel and who you are and what you are, and the empowerment of instead of being worried about like having a high hairline, it's like I was given a hairline like this and I am fucking beautiful. I am powerful. I am like a beacon of beauty and power, and I am gorgeous with my fucking half dome of hair. And I want to go out there and let other men know that they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. We're all fucking gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, it's amazing, dude. But that's a huge fucking difference, guys. This is what they hate, right? The music, the links are down in the description of the live, boss, if you want to check them out. But yeah, so they are fucking tearing her up, man. You know what I mean? They are. And I mean, dude, I said right here too, it's crazy how much MAGA hates Sabrina Carpenter simply because she's not ashamed of her sexuality, right? That's what they're attacking her for, right? The right-wingers in America are the most sexually dysfunctional people on earth. I swear, okay? Dude, the right wants a footloose kind of world. They do. Funny grunt. It also highlights that MAGA men have zero ability to see women as people of aspirations and personal moments like this. They look at themselves in the mirror. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that's it, right? You're right, because MAGA men, okay? MAGA fucking men, guys, look at women as vehicles of their own existence, okay? They look at women as like supporting roles. Like the women are never the lead actor in the MAGA man's world. Even if they're way more successful than them, then they are just a trophy. They're like a clout credit card of clout. But they don't see women, right? Like for them, they're all mad that, oh, women are like, don't want to have babies. Oh, you're denying your womanhood. It's like, fuck you, boss. Like, why does a woman have to have a baby? Dude, a woman can, let me just tell you, as somebody who is a creative guy and who also raised a kid, it's the same shit. If you have a YouTube channel or you have a band or you paint pictures, you're raising fucking kids, bro. It's the same shit. And in fact, your art, if it gets out there, you're raising other people's kids with your art. You're not just, right? You're not just, raising your own in your own house. Even when you raise a kid, they're being raised by, other people, pop culture, and whoever they fucking get into and get exposed to. This idea that we own these kids and you got to have a stable of kids that you own and you got to force them to be like you. Dude, their whole worldview is just bullshit. Not just MAGA men are threatened by strong women. So are lots of non-MAGA men. Oh, I'm sure there are. But I will say that of the men that aren't threatened by strong women, most of them are going to not be MAGA. Okay? That's a reality. That's not to say that there aren't liberal men or whatever other, leftist men that aren't also dangerous. There absolutely are. I mean, there are damaged fucking scumbags of every stripe. But I think on a per capita basis, like MAGA men are like the biggest group of dangerous men to women, without a doubt. Okay? Even if it's beyond like the potential to abuse them or SA them or hit them, I'm talking about just of like being in relationship with the women and never really seeing them. Okay. Like, let me just tell you, like one of the things with Jenny, okay. Let me just tell you like how, when I met Jenny was married. Okay. She was married and I was a single dad. Okay. And I was an actor and I would bring my son to rehearsal and he would occupy himself in the seats and watch the rehearsal and totally well behaved because I raised a kid without hitting or discipline, right? No fucking stringent discipline, no punishment, right? I raised a kid with, positive reinforcement and treating him like an empowered human being, right? When you're empowered, you make fucking pretty good choices. But anyway, she was married, okay? I thought she was happily married, but she never really spent a lot of time around her husband, which intrigued me. And then at the cast party of the play we were in together, I met her husband. And he and we got into an argument. I found out what job he worked, which was actually a shady kind of corrupt job. And then I publicly berated him for it and was like, how the fuck can you work that job? You're totally taking advantage of young people financially. Like, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Like, that is fucking criminal, dude. The place you work for is criminal. And I fucking let him have it. And the whole time she was like sitting there listening to me go off on him. And like, she was not bothered by it. In fact, she looked like she was ashamed of him. But one of the things that was crazy was like, he was a guy who her parents liked. He was, you know, reasonably good to her. He didn't really hurt her. But like, you know what was crazy about it is he couldn't see her. Okay. She was his like actress, you know, nurturer, like powerful woman. Cause Jenny's powerful, dude. She's a go-getter, multiple degrees, you know, super like can be successful at anything. She, you know, had one woman play that she took around the country. She's like one of those, like, you know, I mean, she's a licensed massage therapist. She's, you know, a psilocybin facilitator. I mean, the woman is, and has a master's degree in math and theater. You know what I mean? Like, she's about as fucking powerful and well-rounded, capable woman as you'll get, right? So he had this idea of her in his head, and he was so proud of her, but he didn't actually see her, right? And I could see that when I saw them together, like, holy fucking shit, dude. Like, she's in a relationship with a guy that doesn't see her at all. And a lot of fucking people are like that. A lot of relationships are like that, where men have these amazing women and they just never actually see them. And the women are living quiet lives of resentment, and they're out there taking acting classes or, you know, going to yoga studios, trying to have some existence where they can find other people that can see them, because they're not getting it at home. At home, they're just a fucking idea, right? And it's really fucking brutal. And, you know, then after that play ended, I didn't see her again until after she left him. And she had started going to therapy and was doing the big, bold move after being married to him for like 7 years. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? And now we've been together for longer than they were, right? But she's seen, okay? And that's really, really important, right? Being able to be seen, okay? It is. It is like super fucking important, man. And a lot of women are not seen. But that's what I love so much about Sabrina Carpenter, though, is because she like sees herself, right? And it starts there. It starts at seeing yourself, and then making sure that you have a boundary where you require the men you're dating to see you as well. And sometimes that, you know, you got to break chains and shit. I mean, we all go through this in some way, shape, or form. Not just women struggle with this. I mean, I had sort of the reverse of this. Like, I lived a life as like a rock star, and that life of the rock star got a whole bunch of women like drawn to me, but it was empty, because they weren't there for me. They were there for that persona, that larger than life guy with all the answers, who never gets down, who can electrify a room. But the minute I would get sad, I had nowhere to go, because I couldn't show them that side, because they weren't there for that. They couldn't see me. They just saw my persona that would come in and dominate the room. And that's what they were attracted to. So I had to play that persona, even if I was dying inside. And you know, I still have that persona. That persona is very much a part of me, but it's not the whole of me. And like, Jenny is able to see the other part of me, the you know, the crashing part, the weak part, the sad part. And that's really important. Like, being with people that will see the totality of you and embrace it, and encourage you to embrace it and explore it, right? Because we got a lot in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, dude, love that. Dude, a lot of those men who LARP as alpha end up being like kids to their partner. It's true. Dude, a lot of the men are like fucking babies. Dude, they are. All right, last thing, guys, and then we're dancing. We're going to do a quick round on this, because dude, we got to look at this clip, bro. Okay? Dude, Valentina Gomez. Do you guys know who she is? I don't know if you know who she is, but it's this woman right here. She's trying to sort of go the Riley Gaines route. okay? Valentina Gomez, she's a far right extremist, okay? She's from Colombia, and she is a psycho. She, like, claims, Madeline, let's go! Thank you, Madeline, for that first super. We love you. Dude, sorry, I'm having some lip issues. But, so she's Colombian, and she's from a wealthy family, and she was a swimmer too, and she's crazy though. She claims to be a Christian, okay? She claims to be a Christian, but she also does shit like throws around the F slur with abandon. She completely shits on Muslim people or anybody who's not like a Jesus Christian. And she is, you know, we've seen some of her stuff, okay? I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but if you look at her, first off, she has a Twitter. She did block me, okay? She blocked me after I made a video about her a while back, okay? She did, right? She blocked me after I made a video about her calling her out, okay? But she attacks Muslims. She attacks the LGBTQ like viciously. I mean, look at the shit she says here, right? Right?
I apologize for nothing. My statements and my actions have endured the test of time. And Pierce, since you cut me off, let me finish. You've been on national television for 20 years, and during that entire time, England has only gotten more Muslim. For 20
when
years,
were you last in England?
So you can say faggot, or do you...
Dude, right? Dude, right? She wants to, I apologize for nothing. I throw the slurs. She's throwing in an F slur. But dude, what the fuck is she doing, bro? She is just performative and like extreme. And like, but she thinks she is righteous. This is the new breed of extremist Christians where they think God wants them to use the F slur. They think God wants them to slur the disabled and the trans and everybody who's in their way. Like, they are fucking outrageous. Okay, now we're gonna look at some of her other shit though here. We're gonna just look at the images of her greatest hits. The first thing she did was she burned some books. Okay, the first thing she did, she was running for Secretary of State in Missouri, and she used a fucking 2-bit flamethrower that didn't even work, and she burned books about gay identity, okay? And that was her big thing. She was so anti-LGBTQ. Yeah, it's like a fucking Nerf gun, a flamethrower. If you watch the video, it doesn't even work. Hold on, I'll show you the video I made of her, an old one. This was like way back in the day, guys. You ready? Look at this. This was, I've made several videos about her, MAGA whack job, but the first one I made was this one. I'll put links here. Was this one, Valentina Gomez, everything you need to know, extreme fucking Missouri Republican. That was like, this was one of my fucking first like 20 videos. And then I also made the MAGA whack job one, right, which is this one, her unhinged, which is after her thing, after she did the shooting thing with the, right? So she started off with burning the LGBTQ books. And then what she did was she went on F-slur rampages in all over Washington, just running around with the F-slurs. Then she did the like fake shooting of an immigrant tied up like she's some kind of terrorist with like literally the legs from like, dude, like what's going on with this woman's legs, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what is she doing, bro? Right? I mean, she's just a whack job, right? She is so insane. And, you know, and then she did another, okay, she did another burning of this one, okay? It was this one, all right, where she burned a Quran, okay? right? That was her thing, because the anti-Muslim thing became her like major fucking deal. So she burned a Quran. Okay. Now, one of the things that I do want to say about her is she like in Missouri, she lost big, guys. She ran for Secretary of State in Missouri to be in charge of the elections. She got destroyed. Okay. She didn't get out of the primary. She got like 7% of the vote. She got like nothing. Okay. And she just got brutalized. She got shit on so bad, but she's become this extreme influencer, and she gets a lot of views on Twitter because Elon amplifies her shit. And she's a queen of all these other bigots with Matt Gaetz and libs of TikTok and what. So now what she did though, guys, she moved to Texas. Okay. So she relocated to Texas, and she's running for Congress in Texas now. All right. This crazy fucking like weirdo. But watch this clip. Okay. Can I just tell you that like Omar, dude, I love this guy right here. Dude, I need to get more knowledge of this guy's content. This guy is fucking the fucking chef's kiss, bro. He is literally one of my favorite like political culture speakers right now. He's so fucking, he's fucking sharp, man. He like cuts through all the bullshit. I mean, he's definitely more, I don't know, he feels like he's a little more cultured than I am, but I feel like he just cuts through the shit, and like he does not mince any words. Well, watch this clip, okay? Because what you're going to see here is you're seeing her here on this panel, and she's out there being this extremist, but yeah, they are like shitting on her because she's a caricature, guys. She is a caricature of like the furthest right sort of Christian, whatever, desperate to win the cult vibes of like the far right people to be, I'm going to be the most extreme. I'm going to be the one who I will not apologize. But she is like a meme, dude. She's a caricature. You remember they draw those pictures with the little body and this huge head? That's what she is. She is just like a caricature of racism and transphobia and homophobia and xenophobia. And like, it's comical. Like she's like a clown. But watch her laughter. Okay. Watch her laughter, guys. How she tries to like laugh her way out of the reality of like how clownish she is. It's just really interesting.
In England.
But as you speak, you see, I'm just seeing a brazen Islamophobe. And people say that phrase doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I'm sure you find it funny, but I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are.
But you see her face? You see that face? You see that like fake smile? I mean, look at her. Look at her through this, right? The way she like holds herself, dude. Like, I mean, she puts a lot of like energetic effort into playing this lost, lonely, aggressive character. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of like cuckoo going on, but like some of it is conviction though, guys. Okay. Some of this, you ready? It's like the same shit why you see these religious women with the Bible bunker eyes. Okay. This is what fucking overzealous religious conviction does, where like they're burning you at the stake and you're like, like, dude, it's like some like religion rots your fucking brain, boss. It does when you go overboard on it. But all right, I'm going to let the whole clip play.
In England.
But as you speak, you see, I'm just seeing a brazen Islamophobe. And people say that phrase doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I'm sure you find it funny, but I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5 million Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner.
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
Dude, you see your little show, right? You see that language? Your little show, right? That, like, dude, she's on this show because it's a big show, dude, because she's a clout chasing weirdo. But right, you see that? But what's crazy though is like she's like, you know, didn't want to. She voted against releasing the Epstein files, guys. Right? Like, I mean, she didn't vote because she's not in Congress, but you know what I mean? Like, if she had been in Congress, she would not have voted to release the Epstein files. That was my point, right? She was like, has been a Trump protector and all of these people to the hilt, but my God, she's psychotic. But ready, here it gets good.
Let me bring in...
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I mean, we should be clear about the fact. I mean, sure, Valentina is just a bigot, plain and simple, engages in the worst kinds of bigotry imaginable. But it's worth noting that she's fundamentally un-American because the American Constitution says that you cannot discriminate against people based on religion. That is pretty clear. And so she's engaging in an anti-American campaign in the name of protecting America, which is just irony beyond imagination. So yes, she's a charlatan. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You can tell by looking at her that her IQ hovers around room temperature. To me, the real scandal is not engaging with her directly because she's beneath taking seriously. But the problem is with the GOP, that you have a major party in this country having a candidate running under its flagship, engaging in this kind of really incredibly hateful, incendiary rhetoric, and they do nothing about it.
See, that's it. Okay? That is the problem with the GOP in general. They let her under the umbrella. They let Nick Fuentes under the umbrella. They let David Duke under the umbrella, right? You know what I mean? Like, they allow this shit. They encourage this. They let Trump control the whole goddamn party. Okay? And dude, but did you hear what he said? I know you heard what he said, but wasn't that an amazing point about pointing out that if you're trying to kick out all the Muslims and the Hindus and the Jewish people, that you're anti-American? The very thing about America is Muslims, Jews, Hindus, you know, Buddhists, Shintos, you're welcome here, okay? Everybody's welcome here. That's the point of the American Constitution, is everybody. There is space for everybody here. So if you believe in getting everybody out, you are literally being anti-American. I mean, that's such a beautiful fucking way of putting it. It's so true.
We've seen it with the dissent with Donald Trump himself, with the lawlessness that he has brought to the table and the corruption that he's allowed to get away with, without the party really standing up and putting country before party and before president. And you can see that slippery slope now leading to this level, where you have just a complete hateful clown like this person representing that party without the party objecting to it.
Yeah, you know what?
Leading us towards a very, very dark place in this country.
I actually completely.
All right.
I completely agree with you. There are perfectly legitimate.
No, Piers. And to
well, I actually do agree with him. I think your brazen bigotry is obvious.
Let's make something very clear, Piers.
Yeah.
I only discriminate against terrorists. These terrorists have no place in America. They have no place in the world. And the best type of terrorist is a dead terrorist. And let's look at your Quran. Your Quran, 12 states to terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. And that Afghani, that dirty Muslim that killed Sarah Beckstrom.
It doesn't actually say that, and this is the problem.
And Andrew Wolf, who is
all right, let me bring in
Yeah,
Rashid. Welcome to Uncensored. If you'd like to...
Dude, she's like touched in the head, bro. She's like brain dead. Dude, I know. Isn't it crazy? Like, between Valentina Gomez and Tucker Carlson, making Piers seem normal is problematic, dude. Dude, I know, dude. She is like so off, right? That like every Muslim is a terrorist to her. And it's crazy too, isn't it? That she speaks with such a thick accent, right? While simultaneously trashing every foreigner. But she sounds like she literally showed up like yesterday. What day is it? When did Valentina get here? Yeah.
say what you want to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I co-sign everything Omar said there. And I think fundamentally, this is where we are as a country, where rather than talking about real serious issues, we have these firebrands. I think she ran in Missouri, got 7%, moved to Texas to try to lose there as well.
To try and lose there as well, dude. Oh, shit. Bro, who's the 𝗙𝗪𝗍𝗍 in chat? Is there a dude, has she read her Bible? I don't think so, right? Let's go. Dude. Yeah, well, so the thing is, though, is they like, there can be, right? There's got to be a MAGA Muslim, right? I'm sure there is. Who's the 𝗙𝗪𝗍𝗍? Right? Is it the Noonan guy? This guy? All right. Yeah, no, I see it. I don't even know what that is. That person seems like Valentina's burner account. We're just going to fucking remove that shit. Right? Dude, we're removing that shit. I think that was Valentina Gomez's burner account. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, gone, dude. I got rid of that. I don't know what they're doing. But you're right. They're not wanting to be part of the community. Oh, later. Oh, shit. Isn't that wild? So I'm gonna find more juicy parts because I think exposing these people is important, okay? And especially now, like fracturing this shit, you know, just a reminder about how one of the things I notice, and this is one of the things I notice, guys, okay, is that a lot of this new sort of MAGA bigotry and this new sort of MAGA xenophobia and this MAGA, like, you know, you're all demons and shit. When you look at it, it is like all of it is like a house of cards that is built on very limited bits of information from like a Facebook post. Okay? That's really what it is. Oh my God. I went on Facebook the other night to look at some of the things people are saying on that site. Like, oh my God, people's brains are rotted on Facebook. But somebody will get a piece of information from a meme or a Facebook post about Islam, and then the entirety of Islam becomes that one Facebook post. So then anytime they go online and they get into an argument about Islam, they use that one fact they have from the meme or the Facebook post, and that becomes the entirety of their argument. And it's always like something that you can't argue against with them because they will use religion or what have you to sort of step outside reality. But it really is like limited information, okay? And it's not even necessarily that they're stupid people. Many times they are. But a lot of times they're not even stupid people. They're just people who choose to remain low information. Okay? They do. They purposely choose to approach their politics and their worldview with the fewest pieces of information possible. They're like, yep, I got the incident with the trans athlete. I got the incident with the trans person who hurt somebody. There was one transgender shooter. There was this gay couple that like beat their kid. There was this one Muslim guy who did something bad. And now I have all the information I need to have a worldview about all gay, trans, and Muslim people based on this like 7 pieces of information. And that's it. And if you give me more information, no, I'm not even going to take it in. I'm not even going to consume any more information. I'm going to go fill that space with pork rinds and and fucking Fox News and fucking, jerking off to Cosmopolitan magazine at my grandma's house or some shit, right? That is, they limit their, like they purposely don't achieve the knowledge. Okay, a classic example was when Taylor Lorenz, interviewed 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗽𝗏 of Libs of TikTok, and Taylor Loren said, how many LGBTQ people do you have in your life? And she said, I have none. You've never had none. I've never had an LGBTQ person in my life. That's what she said. So she had built, Libs of TikTok, an anti-LGBTQ thing, right? This entire presence, an arm to try to change the culture. And she did all of that without ever getting to know an LGBTQ person. And like, guys, that's a choice, okay? That's a choice. Like, I can't tell you how to live because everyone's going to live. But for me, when I hate something, if something gets me where I'm like, dude, that shit fucking triggers me, whether it's music or an actor or a worldview or a religion, the first thing I do is I go into that material and I'm like, all right, let's unpack this material. Let's figure out why is this triggering this reaction in me? And I go in there and I fucking explore it and fucking dive right in and swim around in it and become as knowledgeable as I can about the thing that I fucking am driven crazy by or really irritated by. And then I reassess. Does it still bother me? Oh, here's why it bothers me. Because there's criminality here, or it doesn't make sense, it's hypocritical, or it's triggering my childhood, right? But you simply can't, like, I can't campaign against Donald Trump and what he stands for without learning everything I can about Donald fucking Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's like a requirement. Otherwise, how could I fucking campaign against him? That would be ridiculous. It would be like campaigning against a fucking shadow, you know? And these people don't do that. Like the MAGA people, they purposely stay low information, right? Once they have the ammunition to fuel the rage, to fuel the worldview, they stop acquiring information. And it's pretty wild, boss, right? It's pretty fucking wild, you know? Oh, and you're saying there's a MAGA Muslim in Arizona? That makes sense. I mean, there are obviously some MAGA Muslims. There's some people in Dearborn that stood up for Trump and shit. So there are definitely MAGA Muslims, right? I know there are. They're not, you know, I mean, I would imagine, you know, I don't know what the average, like, I don't know a lot of Muslim people. I've known very few, right? But I think to some degree, some of the Muslim worldview, I think, aligns a little better with the Republicans, even though they have the Republicans hate them. They still share some very core beliefs about, you know, gender and sexuality and shit. That it's an alliance, right? They're a helpful alliance. And what's more, I think, you know, if there's a, you know, a group of Muslims that are like Qatari or Saudi Arabia that do want to damage the U.S., they know that getting power to MAGA is the way to do it. Okay. Any international group that is really trying to harm the U.S., whether it's Russia or like a Muslim group that hates America, or it could be whatever, could be any group of people in America, right? It could be Netanyahu's fucking, you know, fucking IDF brotherhood. Anybody who wants to destroy America knows that the way to do it is to give the MAGA movement power, and that they will literally fucking destroy and weaken and gut everything that made America powerful, right? I mean, dude, that's how you would do it. I mean, they keep saying it's about gay rights and trans people, but it's not, man. If you go and look at countries that are like really forward with gender and sexuality and shit, they don't have a lot of strife, man. That shit is the opposite of strife when you find acceptance and evolution of society. You know what I mean? But, you know, and again, that's, I don't think all Muslims are like that. Okay. There are plenty of Muslims that don't want to align with the Republican Party, but there are like some hardliners. Like if you look at some of the hardline Muslim theocratic sort of countries, they align better for sure with the evangelical, you know, I mean, the Christian Taliban phrase is like, it's, you know, it's accurate, right? I mean, I think theocracy just in general is fucking dangerous, you know what I mean? No, they are not. No, absolutely, cash bags. No, I know. I mean, the one Muslim that I did get to know well, and I've known some others, but not well, but the one Muslim I did know well was like very liberal, you know, but he was like Muslim from Kenya, right? And of the Maasai people who are still like some native people in Kenya. And in fact, 𝗙𝗏, he was like very devoted to helping the Maasai people. And so he came to America and he got really educated, and then he became part of an arts co-op, right? Where he designed, see, a big problem in Kenya with the Maasai people, they're still tribal people, and they cook indoors in like huts and in very small spaces, but they use charcoal stoves, which create smoke. So they all die really young of like horrible lung diseases, and a lot of their children are sick because of the smoke from these charcoal stoves that keep them warm and also cooking, and they don't have any other options. But so you know what he did? So 𝗙𝗏 came to America, he got brilliantly educated, he became part of an arts co-op, and then he designed a stove that used wood pellets or wood and creates no smoke, made out of concrete and vermiculite. And it was a cooker that you could literally put wood in it, set it on fire, and sit in a closet and make a meal, and you would have no smoke inhalation. Okay, because it repurposed the smoke. Is unfucking believable, dude. And I filmed for free. I filmed a thing to help him raise money, and he raised a bunch of money, and then he went back to Kenya to teach the Maasai people how to make the stove. Note what I said there. He didn't go back there to sell the stove to the Maasai people. He went back there to teach them how to make it. That's a fucking, right? That's a fucking human being, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some shit, bro. Right? That's how you fucking do life. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you know what I mean? And so, like, dude, for the one Muslim who's real close to me, bro, you're hard pressed to tell me that, like, they're terrorists, because they're not, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but dude, that shit's crazy, right? Dude, yeah, I know. They don't come here to change laws, okay? They don't. They're literally, I mean, and there might be some militant people that are coming here that are trying to fucking whatever, oh, we want to take over the country, of course. But dude, we have militant people that are going all over fucking the world doing the same shit. But like most of them, they don't want to live. Yes, they don't want to live in a theocracy. They don't want to live in a dictatorship. They want to be able to drink a Coke. They want to be able to watch Netflix and not worry about the government fucking knocking on their door and dragging them out of their fucking house, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's literally, they want a fucking Western, they want the Western life. You know, Iran had that Western life in the fucking 50s and 60s until the internal civil war and shit. The women want rights. Yeah, they want to, I mean, dude, they want to be able to live their Muslim lives in a Western space and have exposure to things that aren't just Muslim, and they don't want to live in a theocracy. The last thing they want to do is to create a theocracy over here. It's what they fucking left, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you didn't leave a goddamn theocracy to go to another country and create a new one. Like, hello? The reason they're here is to get away from that. And like, hell, but dude, this is not fucking, rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is there, okay, is, I mean, I did date a girl for a while who was from Iran. And so I can't speak for all the countries, and I can't speak for everybody's experience. But there's a reality, guys, in theocracies and in fascist governments in general, okay, where whether you're in Iran or Saudi Arabia or Russia or fucking, Orban's fucking down in El Salvador. But the one thing, guys, that all fascist governments share, and especially theocratic ones, is there is a veil of suspicion always, okay? The entire operation functions with a cloud of suspicion that hangs all over the people. And if at any time that cloud of suspicion shines a spotlight on you that you may be an enemy of the state, you may be an enemy of the religion, you may be an enemy of the leader, you get disappeared, okay? And you live under the pressure, even if you've done nothing. If they think you did something, you can potentially get disappeared, okay? And you live with that sound in the back of your psyche everywhere you go, every minute of your day. You know, if somebody gets the wrong idea about you, if somebody thinks you're an enemy, the guys will show up with guns and fucking drag you out of there, never to be seen again. And maybe you get killed, or maybe you end up in a work camp. And the reality. And well, One Star, I don't think the Second Amendment really does anything there, because I think if the government shows up and drags people out of their homes when they have guns, they don't shoot at them. Okay? The Second Amendment doesn't do shit about actual government tyranny. Because if you have guns in your house and the government shows up to take you, they're coming with drones and 500 guys with fucking battering rams. Your little AK-47 fucking thing ain't gonna stop them. Go ask the people at Waco how well the Second Amendment did in fucking protecting them, or any of those fucking yokels out in that tried to rebel against the government in Idaho. Yeah, Ruby Ridge and shit. So the Second Amendment is bullshit, because if those Second Amendment people really meant anything, they'd be putting guns and protecting people from being kidnapped by ICE. Okay, the Second Amendment is a mirage. All right, it is. It is a mirage, dude. And those people that claim Second Amendment, those MAGA gun people, they're afraid to protest. Much less they're never gonna point the gun at a fucking a government person and fight back. They literally only shoot people they don't like. They shoot citizens, okay, who are rummaging through their trash. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They don't actually fucking do it. Dude, yeah, you live in the shadow of your own disappearance. Well said. But yeah, dude, that's the thing. People are like, oh, aren't you afraid of Zoran? I'm like, no, dude. Zoran is never going to make me live under the Quran, guys. All right? All right, you ready? It's dance party time, baby. Oh. You might feel a lot more safe in a Muslim country. Dude, I've never felt unsafe, guys. That I believe that safety thing is an internal thing, guys. I've never felt unsafe, and I've lived in some sketchy neighborhoods, and I've been in every major city in America. I've taken wrong turns and ended up in the projects of Cincinnati and fucking, or South Central LA, having to ask people for directions. If you're not a threat, there's really no reason to fucking feel unsafe. You know what I'm saying? I've never felt unsafe anywhere in America. And it might just be a cultivation of safety that I have in myself. And I mean, I'm very aware, I'm always aware. I'm hyper aware of my surroundings. But I guess for me, I notice parents that didn't feel safe. You know what I mean? Like my parents, especially my mom, she had a real unsafety thing. And I think after watching parents, feel unsafe a lot, it made me realize that I had to develop a kind of safety. Dude, yeah, see, women, it's hard though. Women are different. If I was a woman, I would not feel safe around men. Okay, they're right. If and guys, believe me, when I have felt unsafe, it's almost always been around an intoxicated, like emotionally dysregulated man. Okay, not like a gangbanger or not a fucking terrorist. It's been literally usually a not very educated, rage-driven, emotionally dysregulated man who's been intoxicated. And those are the only times I have felt unsafe, right? And like proceeded with caution, right? And so if I was a woman, I would not feel safe around men. Not in our society. It's not even about the men. You know, it's about the socialization, the society. They're just, there's too many predators, man. And the men in America have not, right? And yeah, white men, right? They almost always have been white men. But the men in America have not required other men in America to not be predators. That's it. Like, women won't be safe until we stop having men protect women, and we as men have to create a society where we don't let other men, okay? Guys are, oh, I can't control another guy. But like, dude, you think you can protect a woman. So apparently if a guy comes for your woman, you can control the other guy. But we need a society where men stop protecting women. And in order to improve men, we police ourselves. And we no longer allow our fellow men to be predators. And when we do that, when we heal and get emotionally regulated and fucking get our trauma out of our body, and when we develop a worldview that allows for connection and vulnerability and to be able to see ourselves and other men as we are, as, you know, powerful, vulnerable, soft, explosive, tender creatures, nurturing and fierce. Once we're healed and able to do that, and we develop a society where we don't let men be predators, when we do that for 100 years, women will not choose the bear anymore, guys. That's it. It's on us. It is on us, okay? That's why they choose the bear. It's us, guys, okay? We need to change, all right? And I want to lead that change, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to lead that change, right? Dude, do we have a fucking a troll here, right? Dude, do we have a troll? We might have a troll. Dude, Madeline, let's go. Oh, yeah. Dude, let's go, baby. Oh, shit. Simple Man, Leonard Skinner. Yeah. I mean, dude, it really, I feel like it's going good, Madeline. I feel like it's not easy, but I feel like it is simple, right? We don't direct the energy right. Okay, we direct the energy of like, find a woman and protect her from these predator men. You know how guys are. Boys will be boys. You can't trust any of them, blah, 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 blah. We live under all these social structures where men are allowed to be predators. The predators are revered because the predators collect a whole bunch of resources they take from people, and they're more likely to be wealthy and powerful because they abuse and take and harm. And so capitalism naturally delivers the resources to the most harmful, abusive people, okay? And then we live in this culture that reveres that kind of abuse and says, we're going to protect our women, right? But then the men actually secretly want to be one of those powerful abusers. And like, dude, yeah, I know. Trump is a fine example of that. And we literally just, we have the capacity to fucking, to not be that, right? We don't have to live like that. We can hold men in responsible. Dude, yeah, no, I know. I think the male energy and the female energy are like, they're like 75% the same. And then there's, and some of it though is variable, right? Because like, there's, you know, there's like a lot of females have like a lot of male energy in certain ways, you know, and right. And that's one of the things that I've noticed, especially like in my relationship with Jenny, is she has a lot of male energy and I have a lot of female energy, even though I have a lot of male energy, right? I mean, if you're looking at just what we as a society define male and female, I feel like those definitions are, you know, they're like not encompassing, but the fact of like, you know, the emotionality and the nurturing and shit, I have so much of that. Like even like she has a lot too, but I have like so much of what some people consider feminine in addition to some of the like hardest core sort of like dumb male energy too, you know what I mean? And she has a whole bunch of male energy in ways. It's really cool, right? It's cool. Testosterone injections? No. Nope. Dude, I've never like not a hormone guy, right? I mean, I like hormones. I like my hormones, but I don't want to take additional hormones. I like my balance. Let's go, baby. Dude, it's not even about the testosterone, right? I mean, men have estrogen too, dude. We all have the same hormones. You know what I mean? It's just the quantities, right? That male energy within women is reserved for the bedroom, right? Dude, yeah, I mean, I don't know like where men can be whipped or babied. I don't know what that means, funny grunt, right? The male energy. No, if I'm talking about the women, the male energy that I'm talking about with Jenny is like she has a detachment, right? She has a like that male coldness that my dad had, like she has, but she also has the nurturing softness, but she has a coldness and detachment too. And that male, the way men conquer tasks, right? She does that too, right? The way she breaks down tasks. But yeah, I'm sure there's some male energy though that gets worked out with people, male and female energy and all kinds of shit in the bedroom, right? Oh, I didn't see what your first message was. Well, let's go back and look at your first message. Your true male energy has a lot in common. It's nurturing, emotionally vulnerable. Oh, but all of that is suppressed. Oh, I got you. And then got it. Yeah. No. I see what you're saying now. Male energy equals action. Female energy equals intuition. Yeah, dude, Diana, I like that fucking breakdown, right? There is some truth to that of action and intuition for sure. But then women also have action and intuition too, but they're not allowed to exercise it, right? I mean, society, this is my thing. This is why I think gender evolution and you know, changing gender markers or getting rid of gender markers and sexual evolution is so important, okay? Is because one of the great failures of our society, much like the other day, we talked about how the nuclear family is an addict, workaholic workaholic man with codependent, fucking unsatisfied woman. And that became the nucleus of the American family and why it became so dysfunctional with divorces and infidelity and drug abuse and all kinds of shit. DV is because the core structure is unhealthy. And the same with our gender norms for men and women. They are restrictive, okay? Men are not allowed to fully be because of the limitations based on what men are supposed to be. And the same for women. And that's why transgender men and women and non-binary and no gender markers and all that shit removes those guardrails so everybody can be the full expression of their light and their darkness and their fucking passion and their sadness. You can like have the full gamut. It's like the whole spectrum. You get all 60, we should get all 64 million colors, right? Instead of like the men get 7 and the women get 16 and then that's it. Anything outside of that, you're an enemy of the state. It's like, bro, it's bullshit. right? It's bullshit. Dude, I will fucking cry at the fucking cheesiest TV show, and I will also fucking knock down the wall and fucking rebuild my house. Dude, I will nurture my kid and hold space for him when he's emotionally down, and I will fucking put my boot in somebody's ass if they're threatening my fucking safety. Like, there's many ranges in between, man. And it's like, and my ability to nurture my son gives me superpowers when it comes to defending my territory. Let me just tell you, right? If you look at the guys that are all like afraid of their emotions, they're not really good protectors, guys. This is why a lot of these MAGA men end up getting cheated on. They end up getting fucked over because they're not actually good protectors or good caretakers. They're not. They're fucking posturing the whole time, and they're fucking oblivious, and they're self-obsessed, and they're actually terrible at protecting their life and their family members. They're just posturing. They're like the Valentina Gomez of male protectors. You know, dude, it's so true. They're so bad at it, right? They're all putting on a show, man, like MAGA. Dude, like this fucking idiot. We're going to go last thing before I do my dance, guys. All right? I know I said it was going to go 2 hours, but I always go over. But it was this. You ready? Look at this shit. Okay? Let me just show you something, dude. Okay? Let me just show you a MAGA, like a MAGA version of Valentina Gomez. All right? I replied to this shit. It was about the fucking, this woman, right? She's some right-wing influencer, faith, family, freedom, podcast coming. She calls herself Puddin'. She does this Southern accent, but watch her, dude. Watch what she says. I mean, I got in here and I was like, dude, I thought inbreeding was illegal, but watch her, dude. She's, of course, talking about Muslims, but watch her.
All right, let's just jump straight into it. This for all you 𝗙𝗪𝗙 camel humping sand fleas. You might want to go put your goat down for a second. I got something I want to say. We, the American people, the God-fearing backbone to this nation, are not scared of you.
Dude, not scared of you. Dude, she's a joke, bro. Yeah, she's a joke. Like, it's impossible that God-fearing, not scared of you. Like, who's trying to make you scared of them? Like, she's living an entire fucking, like made up thing in her head, running around yelling at her windshield of her car. Okay, she's yelling at the windshield of her car. She is parked somewhere. There are people who's like, God damn, why is that weird woman screaming at her windshield, dude? Should we call mental health services? Dude, and yeah, she's scared to death. She is scared to death, right? She is freaked out. Every time she hears about a mosque being built, she is shitting herself, okay? You know what I'm saying? Dude, isn't that bizarre? But, like, she doesn't seem threatening at all. It's like, wow, dude. She is fucking, like, mental and scared and frightened and overwhelmed. And all of this, why? Because another religion, a younger sibling of her own religion, is now coexisting with her. She hates her younger brother, essentially. Right? dude, right? And I mean, dude, this shit is crazy. We're not afraid of you. Dude, yeah. It's like, man, I'm a little scared for her, bro. Right? Dude, like, what is she, dude, she get her teeth out of a fucking chiclet package or what, bro? Dude, seriously. She is triggered. She is like, again, this though is emotional dysregulation. Okay? This is what emotional dysregulation looks like, where you're living an alternate reality in your fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Where you are so threatened, you know? Dude, all right. But I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. You got the dance party. I gotta make videos. I got a massage appointment tomorrow. All right. About to get a little deja vu. Oh, you got to stretch, baby. Oh. 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 Oh, shit, bro. Dude, stretching that back is important. Dude, gotta go dance. Dance time, baby. Dance party happening. You guys ready? Dude. Weirdo, bro. Dude, that chick is a weirdo. Oh. 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 All right. Let's go. Let's get it. Time to get in a little bit of deja vu. Oh, oh, oh. You ready? All right. Here we go. It's time. Thank you again for a great stream, guys. Appreciate you guys. Get my tooth fixed. Yeah, no, I will. I'll find a dentist, get an appointment. I got it. I'm gonna have like my tooth is fine, but my tongue is getting abused. Like the chip from the crack part is just like scratching the shit out of the bottom of the tongue. That's gonna be a problem, right? Let's go, baby. All right, here we go. Oh, you want it, baby? Let's go. it feels good, doesn't it? I need you. Let's go. You know I do. Woo! These are not my words, tell me where are mine most of the time. You borrow bad, top dance, amazing stream, thanks for the show, you're welcome buddy, thank you for being here. Before I do it again, do you need anything like I need you? It's over, oh. Do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over, oh. Do you need anything like I need you? All right, guys. Thank you for another great stream. I'm gonna go. I gotta get some work done. I gotta get this shit happening. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of your head. Take care of yourself. Don't give up hope. We got a long way to go, baby, but we're in it to win it. I will see you. Good night, baby. I love ya. Whoa! Freedom. Always jumping